Imus City ay handa na sa pagbubukas ng klase sa darating na August 24.
Teka! Hanggat walang vaccine, hindi ko papapasukin ang anak ko. Mahalaga sa akin ang edukasyon pero mas mahalaga ang buhay ng anak ko. Pag tinamaan ba siya ng COVID, may babalik niyo ba ang buhay ng anak ko? Hindi ba pwedeng i-cancel na lang ang taong ito? Abay, para niyo kaming pinapipili kung buhay ng anak namin o eskwela eh.
Kulang po matapos nga po ang pakikipag-ugnayan namin at konsultasyon sa Interagency Task Force at Department of Health. Inanunsyo na po ng ating kagawaran sa pangunguna ng ating DepEd Secretary ang class opening sa August 24. Pero hindi po ito nangangahulugan ng nakagawian natin na pisikal na pagpasok ng mga bata. Dahil meron na po tayo ngayong pagpipilian ng mga mag-aaral katulong po ng ating mga magulang na katulad nyo. Meron po tayong mga learning modalities gaya ng online o modular, blended, homeschooling at ang panghuli ay ang face-to-face. Ang DepEd po ay may hinahanda ring learning continuity plan kung saan nakapaloob po ang lahat ng plano, mga gawain, programa at proyekto para masigurong magiging maayos ang sistema ng edukasyon sa new normal.
Ha? Anong education sa new normal? Eh di ba may COVID-19 pa? Kailangan bang magbukas ng klase sa August?
Ayon nga po sa ating DepEd Secretary Leonor Liling Magtolis-Briones, kailangan nating simulang bigyan ng pag-asa at pagkakataon ng ating mga anak at maturuan silang yakapin ang realidad, magkaroon ng lakas ng loob na harapin ang anumang suliranin at matulungan silang makamit ang kanilang buong potensyal. Ang pagbubukas po ng klase sa August 24 ay alinsunod sa Republic Act 7797 kung saan ang pagbubukas ng klase ay itinakda sa unang Lunes ng Hunyo, ngunit hindi maaring lumagpas sa huling araw ng Agosto.
Yun naman pala. Kami naman ni Mrs. ay naniniguro lang din.
Ay, nakakatuwa naman po at nagbubukas kayo ng inyong damdamin tungkol sa mga bagay na ito.
Okay lang kayo, DepEd? Papapasukin yung mga anak namin? Akala ko ba may social distancing? Ang liit-liit ng room eh. Kasya ba sila ron? Eh yung mga matatanda eh, hirap na hirap sa wine, eh di lalo na yung kalilikot.
Ayon po sa mga eksperto, sa ating pong mga otoridad, new normal ay hindi pa po matatapos agad-agad. Matatagal pa po ito, lalo na at wala pa pong inilalabas na vaccine. Maaating po ba natin na tumigil na lang ang ating mga anak? Sa inyo po na mga nag-aalala, gayon din po kami bilang mga edukador at bilang mga magulang. Ngunit sinisiguro po namin sa inyo na susunod kami sa mga guidelines na itinakda ng Interagency Task Force at ng Department of Health at mahigpit po itong ipatutupad sa ating mga paaralan.
Paano pag may tinamaan ng COVID? Masasagot niyo ba yon?
Ang utos po ng ating DepEd Secretary Briones, na binigyan din po ng ating Regional Director Wilfredo Cabral, na ating pong itutuloy ang edukasyon. Pero prioridad po natin ang kalusugan at kaligtasan ng mga guro at mga bata. Hindi po natin sila ilalagay sa balag ng alanganin at hindi ikukompromiso. Imagine po ninyo kung anong mangyayari sa mga bata natin kung hindi nila maitutuloy ang kanilang pag-aaral dahil lamang sa natakot tayong sumubok, bagamat meron naman po tayong pagpipilian. Muli po, nandyan ang distance learning gaya ng online at module.
Online? Paano ang online? Uunahin pa ba namin yung kaysa sa pagkain namin? Paano kung wala talaga? Mahina ang net, eh parang pinapipili niyo pa kami kung bibili kami ng load o papangkain namin eh.
Good news po, mula sa ating mga lokal na opisyal, ang ating Governor John B. Cremulya, Congressman Alex Abdingula at Mayor Emmanuel Maliksi, lahat po sila ay nagsasabing prioridad nila ang pagpapalakas ng internet connectivity sa buong lungsod upang matugunan po ang ating pangangailangan gaya po ng paglalagay ng public Wi-Fi zone at pagpapataas ng internet speed sa mga paaralan at mga barangay. Sa online learning po, gamit ang internet at mga gadget, pwedeng laptop o Android cellphone ay maihahatid po ng DepEd sa mga mag-aaral ang mga aralin. Isa na nga po rito ang ating DepEd Commons, kung saan may mga interactive games, e-books at iba pang paraan ng pagkatuto. Meron din po tayong Learning Resource Management Development System, isang portal kung saan makakapag-download ng mga module, educational videos at mga graphics.
Paano naman kung module? Kami ba ang magpapaprint niyan? Paano naman namin makukuha yan?
Kung ang inaalala niyo po ay ang pagpapaprint, huwag po kayong mag-alala dahil libre po ito at ibibigay po namin ito sa inyo. Muli, katuwang ng DepEd ang ating panghalang lungsod. Sa katunayan nga po, nagkaloob ang ating Mayor Emmanuel Maliksi ng mga duplicator machines sa bawat paaralan at naglaan din ng budget para sa pagpapa-imprenta ng mga ito. Ang mga modules na ito ay siguradong dekalidad dahil ito ay pinangunahan ng ating USEC Distrito M. San Antonio ng Bureau of Curriculum and Development. Inaral po ng DepEd kung ano ang mga pinakamahalagang aralin na dapat na ituro sa mga bata para maiangkop ang mga ito sa new normal na ating kinakaharap.
Paano ba yun? Ayoko talagang palabasin ng anak ko. Gusto ko ako na lang magturo sa kanya. Pwede ba yun?
Diyan po papasok ang ating ika-4 na pagpipilian, ang homeschooling. Dito po ay mismo kayong mga magulang o guardian ang gagabay sa inyong mga anak sa kanilang mga pag-aaral at nakatakda na pong ilabas ng DepEd ang guidelines para dito. Alam po ba ninyo mga magulang na malaki ang inyong bahagi sa kung anong learning modality ang ating ipatutupad? Ano man po ang sitwasyon, tuloy po ang sulong edukalidad sa bagong normal. Alinsunod po sa DepEd Order Number 7, Series 2020 o School Calendar for 2020 to 2021, magkakaroon po tayo ng enrollment sa buong buwan ng Hunyo kung saan may sasagutan po kayong survey form na layong makuha ang mga kinakailangang impormasyon at mapusuhan kung ano sa mga nabanggit na learning modality o estratehiya ang gagamitin para masuportahan ang mga mag-aaral sa darating na pasukan. Magtutuloy-tuloy din po ang mga gagawing paghahanda at gagamitin namin ang buong buwan ng Hunyo hanggang Agosto upang matiyak na ready na tayo pagdating ng August 24. Magsasanay pong mabuti ang ating mga guro. Ihanda po natin ang mga kagabitang kakailanganin. Maghahanap po tayo ng makakapartner mula sa private sectors, sa bisa ng Brigada Eskwela at Oplan Balik Eskwela.
Sa pagbubukas ng ating mga paaralan, katuwang ng City Government of Imus ang ating DepEd. At syempre, hangad namin ang seguridad ng lahat ng mga papasok ng mga mag-aaral at syempre mga guro. Kaya nga ang plano ng ating city government ay tulungan ng ating DepEd, lalong-lalo na sa pagpapanatili ng kalinisan at seguridad ng ating mga paaralan. Naglalayan tayong bumili ng mga disinfectant, mga thermal scanners, mga foot bath, mga face shields. Ilan lamang po ito sa mga inihahanda po natin para masigurado natin ang kaligtasan ng ating pong mga mag-aaral at mga guro. Bukod po dito, isa sa magandang programa syempre, yung pagkakaroon po natin ng mga modules. Itong mga modules po na ito ay iprint po natin ng libre at ipamamahagi po natin para yung tinatawag po nating blended learning ay ma-implement po talaga natin ng maganda sa ating pong mga paaralan. Marami pa kong mga inihahanda mga programa ang ating pong pamahalang pangungsod. At nakatulad na nga rin po dito, syempre, yung pagsasaayos po ng ating pong mga eskwelahan para yung pong virtual learning experience po nila ay talaga pumapaganda. Handa po ang pamahalang lungsod na gumastos para yung internet connectivity at yung upgrade po ng ating mga IT equipments and facility para siguraduhin po talaga na maibigay po yung pinakamagandang serbisyo, edukasyon sa ating mga kabataan ay ating po maibigay sa kanila. Naniniwala po tayo na sa pamamagitan lamang po ng pagtutulungan at pagkakaisa, may tatawid po natin yung nangyayari pong epidemya dito po sa ating bansa. At syempre, kaisa ng Department ng Edukasyon, ang ating pamahalang panglungsod sa adhikain po na ito. Kaya sana magsama-sama po tayo at atin po talaga matutukan ang edukasyon ng ating mga kabataan. Sapagkat naniniwala po tayo na dito po sa Imus, no, ang ating po mga estudyante ang bida. Kayo po ang importante. Kaya kailangan po talaga bigyan po kayo ng prioridad.
At hindi po kami magsasawang magpaunawa sa lahat na tayo ay may ginagawa at may pag-asa sa gitna ng pandemya. Sa DepEd Imus City, wala pong maiiwan. Pwedeng mag-online, pwedeng mag-modular. Walang mahirap, walang mayaman. Gagawin po natin ang lahat ng paraan. Samahan niyo po kami sa laban ito. Hindi po namin ito kayang mag-isa. Hindi po DepEd ang kalaban dito. Kakampinin niyo po kami para sa magandang kinabukasan ng inyong mga anak. Labanan natin ang kamangmangan. Magkaisa po tayo. Magkapit kamay. Salamat po sa inyong pakikinig. Kung meron po kayong katanungan, ang opisina ko po ay bukas sa inyong lahat upang tugunin pa ang inyong mga katanungan. Kasama ko po at kaisa ang lahat ng mga punong guro, mga supervisors at mga kasama ko dito sa SDO Imus City. Nakahandang tumulong, sumagot sa lahat ng inyong mga katanungan. Sa huli, inaasahan ko po na tayo po ay magkakaisa. Kapit kamay po tayong mananalangin. Hihingi ng tulong sa ating poong may kapal. Dahil po, ang Diyos na sa atin ay nilikha, ang siyang magbibigay solusyon sa lahat ng ating mga suliranin. Siya po ang tatapos sa pandemic na ito. At siya po, higit sa lahat, ang magbibigay sa atin ng tunay na kahulugan ng kaligayahan at magandang buhay. DepEd Imus City, hindi obligasyon, kundi dedikasyon. Dahil sa Imus,
Importante ka!
Ikaw ang bida.
Imus importante ka, ikaw ang bida. Pagtulong sa iyo, number one sa puso ko.
Okay, magandang hapon sa inyo lahat. Nandito na ba ang lahat ng ating mga teacher participants? Tingnan nga natin. Okay. So, welcome again sa ating PM session ng ating 5th day of our webinar series. At para naman po sa ating first speaker ngayong hapon na ito. So ang topic natin ngayon ay remote learning at para po sa introduction ng ating speaker for this afternoon. He has 6 years experience in information technology, Microsoft MVP, Windows experience, training, facilitation, and customer presentations, end-to-end product marketing, campaign, and executions, specializing primarily on Windows operating system, deployment, and management. He has wide knowledge on the other Microsoft technologies, such as Microsoft Office, OS virtualization and management, servers, CRM, unified communications. He is currently the Vice President for Operations, Line, Learning and Development Solutions since November 2018. Please welcome our first speaker for this afternoon, Sir Yufer Passion.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Maraming salamat po for having me here. I'm very much excited to share and learn with you. And again, congratulations po dun sa lahat ng mga taong nasa likod nito, no, in doing this 5-day webinar. Maraming salamat. I want to share my slide now so that we can start our learning. Okay? And also, para po nakafocus tayo sa slide, I'll be turning off my camera now. Yan. So this afternoon, going to talk about staying connected with remote learning through Microsoft Teams and Office 365. So for this afternoon, this will be our objective. So we're going to learn what is really remote learning. Ano pagkakaiba ng remote learning at online learning. Okay? Ano po ang difference ng synchronous and asynchronous learning? We can actually talk about assessments, no? Ano po yung mga pwede nating gamiting assessment for our students? And also, how are we going to structure really our day for remote learning? So maraming mga questions, no? I've been talking to several school organizations already, like, Ufer, pag ba remote learning, kailangan ba 8 hours pa rin nakababad ang mga estudyante sa call, ganyan. So we also going to talk about, considerations, no, in delivering our remote learning sessions. Agree that we have already plan, no, for the Department of Education, mula po sa central office kila secretary pababa, how are we going to do our remote learning. But in this afternoon, I think lahat po tayo mag-agree na this is actually another ocean to swim, no? So kung dati nasanay po tayo sa ating four corners in the classroom where we'll just discuss everything with our class, ngayon it's a very different sea to swim, sabi nga nila, di ba? So let's begin our remote learning session. So let me define remote learning here. Remote learning occurs when the learner and instructor or source of information are separated by time and distance. So ibig sabihin po, hindi po um, hindi po siya in the corner of the classroom, 'di ba? So let's go away with that dahil hanggang ngayon hindi pa po tayo pwedeng pumasok. Okay? So that is how remote learning, no, nasa kanya-kanya tayong place, nasa kanya-kanya tayong bahay, 'di ba? For us to learn and teach. Now, how is online delivery different? No? So in remote learning, um, still, no, the social dynamics are the same but implications are different. So ibig sabihin po niyan, let me differentiate what is online learning and remote learning. Ang online learning po, and I'm sure you are very much familiar with YouTube, LinkedIn Learning, mga Coursera, Open edX. Those are your online learning platforms wherein you'll just go there to enroll and then watch, okay, and then take a test after. That is online learning. When you talk about remote learning or virtual learning, ito naman po, ang ginagawa natin is you still need to manage the class. Kailangan pa rin pong may engagement. Hindi po dapat static yung content, no? In YouTube, 'di ba? Manonood ka lang, very static. So in remote learning delivery, it should always have an engagement with your students. So, mabobore po yung mga estudyante natin kapag nag-lecture tayo na parang YouTube lang na dire-diretso, na wala po tayong engagement. We're not going even to ask them, how are they? Going to ask them if they understand the lesson, they understand the session for the day, or if they have problem in the lesson, ganyan. So, that is how remote learning is being delivered to our learners. Okay, that is how our lessons is being delivered to our learners. So the question would be, okay, ito po dapat yung dalawang question na pwede nating tanungin sa ating sarili para po makapag-deliver tayo ng tama when it comes to our remote learning sessions. What is the enduring understanding students need to have at the end of the lesson or unit? Or if I only had 10 minutes with my students, what is the most crucial information for me to give them and for them to retain? So, ibig sabihin po, when it comes to remote learning, ang number one tip ko po sa inyo ay KISS. Keep it short and simple. Okay? Uh, we are not in the four corners of the classroom. We are not, we don't have that capability to, like, I remember when I was in elementary and in high school, kapag maingay ang mga estudyante, you'll just papagpagin mo lang yung blackboard for them to listen, or yung teacher namin noon, tatahimik lang siya. Tapos pag tumahimik na lahat, saka ulit siya magsasalita. You cannot do that in remote learning. And wala tayong capability to know if our students is really on in the front of their screen learning with you. That's why kailangan pong short and simple para po mag-gauge natin na yung kanilang understanding as well, at para po makuha nila yung ating lesson. You don't need to do na parang para ka pa rin lecture in the four corners of the classroom. So mahirap po 'yon. So again, as a teacher, we have to be creative as well, no, in doing our remote learning. So hindi po still, no, pwede pa rin nating gawin na parang call them out ganyan, but then we have to be creative and be more engaging when it comes to remote learning. So in case there is a question, kindly put in lang po sa ating uh, chat box or sa ating Facebook, and then the moderators can actually read them to me para at least we can answer. Now, these are all the considerations that we need to take note when it comes to remote learning. And I think the Department of Education is already on its way, no, sa mga considerations na to. First and foremost, technology. Okay, so we all know na hindi po lahat ng ating mga estudyante ay may laptop, hindi po lahat ay may desktop. Some of them have tablet, some of them have smartphone, and some of them wala po talaga. So we have to consider that as well in doing our remote learning. So in planning your remote learning, say for example, you are planning it for your division, kailangan pong, if I may suggest, this is actually one of the best practice na ginawa ng isang school, no, na, well, it's a private school. What they did is they created a survey for all their students. Okay, and tinanong nila, ilan kayong magkakapatid na estudyante? Ano ang device na meron kayo? Kumusta ang connectivity? Yung mga ganyan. Those are the questions that you can actually do on your survey para po maplano po natin. And dito sa school na to, hindi ko na po babanggitin yung mga pangalan ng school. The school found out that actually they have 68% of their students have the capability. The rest po, wala pong capability to do connection, to connect kasi wala po silang connection or sobrang mahina, ganyan. So you have to consider technology as well, no? And even if you're going to do remote learning, kailangan din po natin i-consider na yung isang household, they're actually sharing devices. They're actually parang isang device lang yung ginagamit nila for say tatlong magkakapatid. So we have to consider that as well para po malaman natin ano po yung mode of delivery na gagamitin natin sa ating mga estudyante. Of course, we also need to consider our students' emotional needs. Siguro kung sa mga college, kayang-kaya nilang intindihin na we have this pandemic happening and we cannot go to school. But to those students or pupils na mas bata, I have a 7-year-old nephew, and yung mga questions niya, these are some of the questions na ang hirap i-address sa mga bata. Bakit hindi na ako pumapasok sa school? Bakit hindi na ako makalabas ng bahay to play with my friends? Bakit hindi ko na nakikita si teacher? Why can't I go to the church? Yung mga ganon. So we have to consider those things as well, no, in doing our remote learning. So ang remote learning natin, it's not just we are going to deliver our lessons. We also need to check on our students. Ano po, kamusta po sila? Okay, kamusta po yung kanilang um, buhay as a student inside their homes. And also, we can also include no other electives para po sa mga bata so that they can divert their attention, no, rather than uh, nag-iisip sila kung papaano kung kailan sila makakabalik sa classroom, ganyan. So we can always include electives. Next, very very important is the bandwidth, no? So kailangan din po natin malaman yung mga bata po ba ay um, has an stable internet connection, or meron lang bang araw o oras na maganda yung internet connection sa kanila that they have a good signal for them to join our remote learning sessions. No? So let's consider that as well. And also, even when in doing remote learning then, we also need to consider na hindi lahat po ng mga bata or lahat ng household ay merong internet connection na DSL or fiber or broadband connection. Okay? Some of them are just using their data, and baka masyadong costly kung yung ating remote learning ay 3 oras, 5 oras na dire-diretso. Baka mamaya naubusan na sila ng load. 'Di ba? So we need to consider their bandwidth as well, and gaano sila katagal pwedeng mag-join ng ating remote learning. Next, and also lastly, other demands on students. So, dati kung nandun sila sa loob ng classroom, ang ang ah, ang kailangan lang nilang gawin ay makinig po sa ating mga teachers, mag-aral, gumawa ng seat work. That's it. Do some chores in the school. But right now, since nasa bahay po sila, there are also other demands for them. Like, kailangan nila mag-alaga ng kanilang mga kapatid, or maglinis ng bahay, or whatsoever, na kailangan din nating isipin yon, no? Kasi baka mamaya, sabihin natin, oh, magre-remote learning session tayo. Tapos hindi naka-attend yung estudyante dahil sa mga kadahilan ng walang internet, yung device ginagamit ng kapatid niya, hindi siya naka-join. And then sasabihin natin, ay, absent si ganito. So, we need to think on all of those things, no, when it comes, no, in doing remote learning with our students. Now, let us differentiate synchronous versus asynchronous learning. And I think after we are going to differentiate this, malalaman po natin kung ano po ang nararapat na gamitin natin sa ating mga estudyante. And I'll give you siguro some more tips, no, on how are you going to do this. So synchronous learning is when students and your teacher learn at the same time. Ibig sabihin, like what we are doing right now, this is actually a synchronous learning. Ibig sabihin, magse-set po tayo ng date, magse-set po tayo ng time for us to meet, okay, all of us to meet in the same call, and then we will talk about the lesson, or the teacher will discuss the lesson. Asynchronous learning naman is each student will learn at their own schedule or at their own pace. So ibig sabihin, as a teacher, magbibigay lang tayo ng resources, and then they will study it on their own. So it's somewhat similar to your flip learning style, di ba? So in the flip learning naman, magbibigay ka ng ng content sa ating mga estudyante, and you are going to have them discuss all by themselves, and then meet them to discuss kung ano po yung naintindihan nila. That is your flip learning. So it's basically similar, no, with your asynchronous learning. Now, if you're going to ask me, you, for what is the better option, no, when it comes to this two ways for you to deliver your remote learning. So most schools actually adapt to both. Okay? So again, no, based dun sa previous slide natin, yung ating mga considerations, kailangan natin i-consider lahat yung mga yon para malaman natin how are we going to deliver our lessons to our students. So when it comes to synchronous, some schools ang ginagawa nila, si teacher, they will meet once every week, no, in a call, and then they will do synchronous learnings. Ang gagawin lang ni teacher, okay class, magdi-discuss siya siguro 15 minutes, and then he or the teacher will give na the resources and the lessons for the students to study. Okay? And also, no, if I may, very, very important po dito ang participations, ang role ng ating mga magulang when it comes to the learning of our students. So we have to consider those things as well. Now, and then, so yun nga, once a week, they will meet, and then the rest of the week, asynchronous learning na sila. No? Well, hindi naman bahala yung mga estudyante, pero that's how we frame it. No? Yung mga estudyante na po, they will study it on their own with the help of their parents. No? And then, the next week ulit, mag-meet tayo and then discuss kung ano po yung naintindihan nila dun sa lesson. Okay? So, I'll pause a bit. No? I will just ask siguro, what is your take, no? Or ano pong naiisip natin when it comes to your synchronous or asynchronous learning? And if there is a question ngayon, pwede po natin sagutin. No? So, siguro 30 seconds. And then, let's proceed to our next slide. Okay. So, dahil wala pong question, I guess, no, I'll go to my next slide. So how are you going to, encourage engagement with your synchronous learning, with your synchronous lessons? So study shows that students' age equals minutes of uninterrupted instruction in one sitting. So, but, well, hindi naman to 100% na totoo na parang pag 8 years old yung estudyante, 8 minutes lang yung kanyang attention span. No? So, case-to-case basis po ito. But then again, we have to consider that na let me just mute our mute ko muna. Okay. No, okay. So study shows, no? So yun yung study, but then case again, sabi ko sa inyo, case to case basis. So we have to be as creative as we are in delivering our lesson, no, during asynchronous type, no, of delivery kapag nagkikita tayo isa-isa. So again, hindi po kailangan na that we will meet for 1 hour, tapos si teacher lang po yung dumadakdak, si teacher lang po yung nagbibigay ng lesson, si teacher lang po yung nagsasalita. No, so we have to engage with them as well. You have to acknowledge them as well. You have to post at designated times, ask question, naintindihan ba nila? May question ba sila? 'Di ba? Meron ba silang concern, mga ganyan, no? And for you also to gauge your students' understanding of the lesson, perhaps you can create a quick poll in your Microsoft Teams. There is actually tool called Poly. Siguro papakita ko sa inyo yan mamaya for you to create quick polls, do, para at least mas more engaging yung ating mga estudyante. So you can also ask them to put memes or emojis. Emojis and stickers are actually included in Microsoft Teams, no, for your students to have fun in learning. So hindi po kailangan na boring yung ating lesson kahit bored na sila. Kailangan po there still should be fun in learning. And I'm sure most of you has already used Kahoot. Kahoot is very popular in the classroom. No, this is actually for you to create short quizzes, no, or quick quizzes for your students na para kayong naglalaro. But this is actually a way for you to gauge their understanding in your lessons. Now, you need as well to create segmented lessons, no, during your remote learning delivery. So, hindi po kailangan na if you only have, say, 15 minutes of um, instruction with them, kailangan nyo pa rin pong paikliin yon, and then you have to break. No? So, kung 15 minutes yan, pwedeng take 7 minutes, and then there's a 1-minute break, no, for them to, stand, get drink or go to a bathroom, break, ganyan. So, you need to take a break, no, in between lessons. And then again, yun nga po, hindi po dapat no when it comes to delivery of your synchronous learning or of your lesson no during a call, please make the class or the session more engaging rather than tayo lang po yung nagsasalita. Now, you can also record a video for the students to um, to watch ganyan. So there are a lot of tools like in PowerPoint you can actually record yourself or your slideshow while you are presenting it so that your students can actually watch you no. So you can also record your screen if you are doing demos mga ganyan in PowerPoint. So yun ang mga tools na pwede nyong gamitin and that will be discussed on our next session with my good friend no Erwin later on. So pwede po na gawin natin is say if you have a 1 hour session like you discuss say for the first 10 minutes and then give them this link of the video where they can watch it. Okay, and then after napanood nila yung video, come back all again to the call and then discuss. Pwede pong mga ganon yung ating method, no? Para po hindi po nakababad lang yung ating mga estudyante the entire time sa ating lesson. Okay, so again, recognize the need for brain breaks. Okay, so plan no more than 15 minutes of focused attention during direct instruction. So lagi kong sinasabi sa inyo, wag pong mahaba. Okay, kailangan po short and simple na naintindihan niya. Okay, I understand lahat po tayo baguhan sa pagde-deliver ng ating remote learning. There are a lot of tools out there. Hindi lang Microsoft Teams, no? Just so happen Microsoft Teams ang ating topic ngayon. But yes, you have a lot of tools out there no, intended for education for you um, to deliver your remote learning. But then again, still kailangan po natin magkaroon ng brain break. Pwede tayong mag-brain break like halimbawa we have I know one of my trainers, teacher din po kasi siya. Ginawa niya is dun sa kanyang break, pinapunta niya yung kanyang mga estudyante sa favorite spot sa kanilang bahay and then take a selfie. Yun yung mga ganon, no? Let's gamify our remote learning sessions with our students. You may also create small groups for your students no, inside Microsoft Teams for them to discuss their projects. And then, kailangan din mag-pause. Kailangan din huminto ng konti and ask them ano yung insights nila, ano yung question nila, ano yung reflection nila dun sa kanilang or dun sa ating lesson for the day. You may also use chat function in your Microsoft Teams for you to engage with them in more intimately, like one-on-one. Halimbawa, this student has actually parang problema sa klase, ganyan. You can actually do them no or do them a favor by talking with them via chat and or video conferencing or voice call no inside your Microsoft Teams. So again, brain breaks. Hindi po kailangan na dire-diretso po yung ating lesson. Kasi kailangan pong ma-refresh din yung utak ng ating mga bata. And then again, no, even tayo ng mga adults, when it comes to remote learning or when it comes to webinars, hindi po natin maiiwasan. There are a lot of distractions sa ating bahay. Kaya hindi yan kagaya ng pag nasa opisina tayo or nandun tayo sa school na you are really focused on teaching. You are really focused on doing your lessons, ganyan. But at home, ang dami pong distractions like may anak ka, 'di ba? Or kailangan mong magluto, mga ganyan, no? So please do brain breaks no every now and then, no as often as you can during your synchronous learning. I'll pause for a bit. Is there a question? Let me just check my chat box here. Wala naman. Okay. All right. So again, other considerations. So you need to implement variety of teaching strategies on to your lessons. So medyo magde-deviate tayo kasi hindi kagaya nung nasa four corners of the classroom tayo that we can just, talk and we can get their attention like, call their names, ganyan. But in a virtual or remote learning environment, medyo mahirap po. So you have to deviate from your teaching strategies din. Okay? Also, take a risk and try varied learning activities and experiences. No? So there are a lot of things there. And also, wag po tayong mahiya na sabihin sa ating mga estudyante na this is actually a first time for you to do remote learning, ganyan. And pare-pareho po kayong mag-aaral. No? Minsan kasi, parang as a teacher, kailangan pinoproject natin sa ating mga estudyante na, oh, perfect, alam mo lahat, ganyan. No po. No, wala pong perfect. Let's let go of perfection. Kailangan pong we need to take this opportunity to learn with our students. No, kailangan pong sama-sama tayo with our estudyante to learn together. Okay? And then of course, provide time and space to nurture students' creativity. So kung dati during the normal times we're going to give them assignments or project tapos magsasubmit sila the next day. Ngayon medyo hindi natin magagawa 'yon. No? So we have to give them time as well to finish their projects, no? Finish their assignments, and then submit it to you. Now, nabanggit ko kanina na pag-uusapan din natin yung what type of assessments, no, tools that you can use in remote learning. So you have here for your formative assessments, you have Microsoft Forms for you to create quizzes, self-grading quizzes. You have OneNote for you to, distribute their sit works, ganyan. So OneNote is a very powerful tool in managing your classroom. And I think Erwin will give you a preview that as well later on. You can also do whiteboarding during the call inside Microsoft Teams. And of course, Microsoft Word. When it comes to summative assessment naman, maybe some of you is very familiar with Sway. This is included in your Office 365 subscription. Sway is your digital storytelling application. Um, para siyang pinag-combine na PowerPoint, Excel, Microsoft Word, and OneNote. Okay, isipin nyo yon. Sa isang application, nandun lahat. No? You can create your canvas there in Sway and present your report, no, to your teachers or to your students as well. Of course, PowerPoint is there for your students to create their reports and assignments, no, and presentations. You also have video editor that is built in Windows. Flipgrid is also nice application. It's also included in Microsoft Teams, and it's also a free application that you can use. Ano ang Flipgrid, Ufer? Flipgrid is a tool for you to say, hear your student's voice, because in a classroom, meron at meron po tayong mga estudyante na very introvert, na hindi po nila parang nahihiya po silang sumagot sa inyong mga question, no? Na matalino siya when it comes to exams, ganyan, pero pagdating sa questions or sa interaction with the class, medyo nahihirapan siya. So for inclusive learning, you can actually use Flipgrid for them to say, mag-post lang tayo ng questions sa Flipgrid, and then they will answer it via a video na parang TikTok, no, 'di ba? So bakit sobrang familiar si TikTok? Because it's actually short, no? Nakukuha niya po yung attention ng isang tao for them to watch it, no? And for them to get interested because it's actually a short videos. So Flipgrid is also something like that, pero of course it's intended for our students and it's intended for our educators. And also screen recorder. Again, your PowerPoint has your screen recorder feature for you to record, no, your lessons, and also for your students to um, record kung ano po yung gusto nilang ipakita sa kanilang screen. So these are some, no, marami pa pong pwedeng gawin inside Microsoft Teams, but all of these are actually, integrated in your Office 365. So this is how a school can structure the day. Well, hindi naman po kailangan sundin to. In a perfect environment, in a perfect world, we can actually do this. But in our situation, in our country where not all of our students have internet connection, no, I think mahihirapan po tayo na gumawa ng synchronous lesson every day. Okay, so you can say perhaps um, schedule 1 to 2 times a week synchronous lesson, and then the rest will be asynchronous na. Okay, for your students to learn on their own. This can actually be the structure, no? So you can take a screenshot of this. I can also send you a copy of this slide to your designated representative so that meron po kayong i-review later on. No? So I think this call is being recorded naman. Okay, and you will have a copy of the recording as well. So this is one, how we're going to structure. Sa ating teacher naman, ayan. Okay, this can be your teacher schedule. So my tip with you, my dear teachers, when you are doing your remote learning or you are teaching at home, no, kailangan po na gawin pa rin natin yung mga routines. Like, of course, hindi na tayo magmamadali na magbibihis pa, ganyan. But when it comes to doing remote sessions and also for productivity sake, you have to go to a corner. You have to designate a corner of your house wherein you have your parang office then. No, you have your table there. It's a well lighted corner for you to deliver your lessons. Please stay away from doing your your session or your work in your sofa, sa couches natin, sa bed dahil baka mamaya makatulog po tayo. No? So if necessary, wag po nating gawin sa ating sariling kwarto yung ating session. Kasi po testimonyo ko po 'yan na hinahabol po ako ng kama pag nandun po ako sa kwarto para po magtrabaho for or mag-deliver ng aking sessions, no? So better go outside, no, set your um mag-set up po tayo ng parang sarili nating office, and if it helps, no, pwede po rin tayo magbihis pa rin ng uniform natin as teachers, 'di ba? While doing work. And then of course, kailangan nating i-follow yung lunch breaks, mga ganyan. So, you need to do that as well. No, that's my tip with you, my dear teachers. So, the wows and wonders protocol. No? So, think about your current workday. Okay? Also, ano kaya yung mga adaptions, no, that you need to make both with student schedules and work schedules? Okay, so you can add one wow, no, something that hindi pa natin nako-consider to do it, and one wonder. Questions that come up from the sample remote schedule presented, no. So kindly check, no. Papakita ko lang po ulit, no. You may adapt this or you can create your own schedule. Okay, connecting to your students. So there are a lot of things that you can, connect with your students. Microsoft Teams can actually be your official platform in connecting with your students. So first, you have Microsoft Team calls, like what we are doing right now. We are in Microsoft Teams where we talk with each other, we learn with each other, and also you need as well to create your virtual office hours. Bakit? Bakit importanteng gumawa ng virtual office hours? Kung dati sa ating classroom, meron tayong parang our students will just go with us and ask questions, ganyan. Ngayon, hindi po nila magagawa yon. And also, we have to, what's the term? You have to say discipline your students na hindi sa lahat ng pagkakataon sasagot kayo ng questions. No? Sasagot kayo ng kanilang questions. You have to designate a time for them to ask questions. Granted, most of us have say connection with our students using our social media. Okay? And minsan, 11:00 na, di ba? Nagtatanong pa rin sila sa atin. They're just, magpa-pop up lang sila sa messenger to ask questions, which is, in some way, medyo nawawala na yung ating parang barrier na student tsaka teacher. So, kailangan din po nating establish yun na they need to respect personal time as well. And we need to respect the time of our students as well. No? So create a virtual office hours. If I remember it correctly, one of my teachers in college, kapag nag-end po yung klase namin ng 4:00, he will stay in the room up to 4:30. and wait for students who wanted to talk to him, or if they have questions. Kasi aminin natin, may mga estudyante talaga na hindi po hindi po sila or nahihiya po silang magtanong kapag nandyan po yung kanilang classmates. So create a virtual office hours with you in Microsoft Teams. I'll be showing you that later on. I also already explained what is Flipgrid. No, this is where you can engage with your students naman in a different way using videos, and of course your conversation in Microsoft Teams. Okay, so let me just show you a quick demo of Microsoft Teams. I think already meron pa naman akong 15 minutes. No, so pwede tayong mag-demo ng konti. Let me just share my entire screen here. Okay, this one. Let me know if nakikita nyo na po yung aking screen. Okay. So this is Microsoft Teams, and some of you might already explored it. No? So basics po na tayo. Mamaya po mag-i-in-depth po tayo sa next na session. So when you log into Microsoft Teams, this is how Microsoft Teams is being structured. No? Makikita nyo po yung mga boxes na yan, yung mga blocks na yan, those are your team na tinatawag. Sorry for the redundant term, yun po talaga ang tawag. You have your team, and then pwede pong yung team nyo is a class, no, or a subject, for example. So nakikita nyo yan, di ba? You have a lot of subjects here. And also, dito sa left rail, far left, this is your navigation tab. Okay, your navigation tab will be your friend when navigating your Microsoft Teams. So you have here your activity or notification tab. You have here your chat, wherein you can talk with your students or your teammates, ganyan, or fellow teachers. You have here your teams for you to see. You'll see here na nandito po ako sa physical science team or physical science class. You also have your assignments. This is a very peculiar or unique with Microsoft Teams on the education version. Meron po siyang tinatawag na assignments. This is where your calendar is for you to schedule your remote learning sessions with your students. And also, good to know as well, papakita ko lang po sa inyo that your files, even if you are using another cloud storage platform like Google Drive or Dropbox, Box, and ShareFile, you can actually connect them inside Microsoft Teams para po pag may kailangan kayo sa inyong, say, Google Drive, ganyan, or in your OneDrive personal, pwede po nyo lang get your files from your cloud storage. No? So it's well connected. No? So yan. So let me go back here and show you how are you going to create your first team. So depending on the subject, depending on say the policy of our school or the policy of our division, we can set up a team na ganito. So first up, just click on join or create a team. So yan, makikita nyo po dito, di ba? You have two options. You can create a team or you can join a team with a code. So, sorry. Okay. So here, let's create a team. Let me show you. So in Microsoft Team, you have, excuse me, you have four types. You have class team, you have professional learning community, you have staff, and other. So isa-isahin natin. Class team, of course, is intended for your classroom, no, sa ating pong mga estudyante at teachers. Professional learning community, this is where you and your colleagues, no, or teachers, fellow teachers can collaborate and share or pool your resources. No? So yung mga naglalak session po dyan, no? So you can actually create a team for your entire school, di ba? Para pag at least meron pong tayong lock session, lahat po ng teachers nandoon sa iisang team, and then you can collaborate with each other. Staff team naman, this is intended for non-teaching staff, for school administrators, kila SDS, ASDS, so lahat po ng non-teaching, they can you can create your staff team here. And of course, others, if you want to say create interest groups, ganyan, mga students club, that is where you can go, no, on the other team. So here, let me just you know, show you how to create a class team. So in a class team, say for example, ang subject natin ay TLE 3. Ayan, 'di ba? So, and then you can actually add description here. Okay, and then you can just on click next. No, on the next window, this is where you can add your students. No, so you can add if your students has already an Office 365 account, you can actually add them by just typing their name. For example, um, let's say add Alfred Rickson, and then say um, yan, si Henry. Okay, and then si James, for example. So I can add them here. Just click on add. So if you're going to ask me, Ufer, wala pang Microsoft Office 365 ang aking mga estudyante. Pwede ko ba silang i-add using their personal email? Yes po, pwede nyo pong gawin yan. No? Assuming that your tenant administrator will allow it. So pwede po nating silang i-add yung mga gmail.com, yahoo.com, hotmail.com, ganyan. You can add them as your students. Also, there are classes na merong dalawa, tatlong teacher. We call that team teaching. No? So kung dalawa kayong teacher doon, pwede nating gawin, for example, i-add natin si George Potter, ganyan, as an additional teacher. No? So if you're going to, pagtapos na po kayo mag-add ng teachers and student, just click on add and then click on close. Now you have your team. Okay, so in Microsoft Team, automatic po, in the class team, you have here your file section, your class notebook, you have your assignments tab, your grades tab. Okay, this plus button here will allow you to add some more application like forms, Microsoft Excel. You can add Poly here, a PDF document, a YouTube video where if you want them to watch something about your lesson. And there are a lot of applications that you can actually, include inside Microsoft Teams. No, to some of you familiar yung mga applications dito, like I think there's a Khan Academy here, there's a Wikipedia application here that you can include. Even Adobe Creative Cloud is here. You can see that. Okay, Evernote is also here. So there are a lot of applications that you can integrate, and even your say if you have uh, current learning management system, pwede po nating i-integrate sa Microsoft Teams. So it will be a seamless integration with Microsoft Teams. Again, this is me na telling you kung meron po tayong nakasanayang learning management system, hindi po tayo kailangan mag-shift agad-agad sa Microsoft Teams. Let's take a look on what are the things that we can do inside Microsoft Teams. Let's take a look on how are we going to integrate Microsoft Teams in our remote learning environment and in engaging our students. Okay? Now, also here in Microsoft Teams, you have here your channel. So in Microsoft Teams, when you create your first class team or whatever team that you are creating right now, you can actually add some more channel. No? So for example, in TLE, I don't know kung ano po yung mga subject natin or mga topic. For example, computer, ganyan. Okay, and then hindi ko na po matandaan no kung ano po yung mga additional dito or say kasama po ba dito ang drafting? Ayan, so yan. So all of these are standard channels, and what's nice about that is my sir and ma'ams, makikita nyo po dito na every channel meron po siyang file section. So for example, meron kayong project for computer, they can just go here in the file section and upload their project there. Okay? So pwede kayong gumawa ng folder diyan, you can upload folders, you can add your files there. Okay, you can even, put additional document ganyan. So you can do that, okay, inside Microsoft Teams. Ayan po, so nakapag-upload na po ako. So meron po silang sariling file section. Now, what if you're going to ask me, Yufer, pwede bang meron kasi akong halimbawa grouping sa klase and um, gusto ko silang i-group. Okay, pwede po ba yan gawin sa Microsoft Teams? So if you can see here dito sa ating channels, okay, I still have 6 minutes left. Just click on manage channel and add channel, sorry. And then say for example, cooking halimbawa. So dito sa baba, teka lang, groupings pala to. Okay, groupings. So group 1, ayan, and then on the privacy tab here, you just select on the private. Okay? Now, hindi kagaya kanina pag gumawa tayo ng channel, yung standard channel, minsan dire-diretso siya. Here there's another step for you to add kung sino po ang kailangan nandun sa channel. So si Al Fredrickson and say si James Hobbs, no, magkagrupo sila. And then I can just add them in that channel. And then kung si teacher, as a teacher automatically po or as an owner of the team, automatically po may access po kayo doon sa team nila. And then just click on done. So nakikita nyo po yung group 1 na channel, no? Meron po siyang parang lock na icon. Ibig sabihin kung sino lang po yung estudyante na kasama diyan sa grupo na yan, sila lang po ang may access diyan sa channel na yan. So this is a way for you to engage your students, no, per group ganyan. So pwede yung i-discuss dito like how is your project going? Ayan. So you can do that. And ang makakakita lang po nito ay yung dalawang magkagrupo at kayo po. Okay, so pwede ka rin gumawa ng say another channel for class officers. Ganyan, okay? And then you do that on private and then click next. And then idagdag natin yung ating dalawang estudyante. For example lang, so pwedeng maraming class officers, 'di ba? Then add and then click on done. No? So meron ka pong class officers na channel wherein diyan po kayo mag-uusap-usap ano po ang plano natin sa class, ganyan. So it's a private channel where not all students are privileged to to look inside this channel. So also, if you're going to ask me, Yufer, paano yung class materials namin, no? Kasi ayaw namin na dina-download ng estudyante yung ating class materials. In the general tab, okay, dun sa file section po ng ating general tab, makikita nyo po dyan that there is actually, bakit wala siya? Let me just go back to other teams here. Makita ko lang po sa inyo on the general tab. Yan, ito. So there's actually a class materials folder na kapag nag-upload po kayo dito ng class material, na wala pa pong na-upload, pero pag nag-upload po kayo dyan, yung pong mga materials na yan ay hindi po pwedeng i-download ng estudyante. Hindi po nila pwedeng i-edit. Ang pwede lang po nilang gawin ay view only. Wala po silang edit capabilities or download capabilities. So if you want to secure your class materials, put them in your class materials folder in your file section sa ating Microsoft Teams. So again, if you can see here, no, may class notebooks dyan. Mamaya i-discuss po yan ni Erwin if kaya pang daanan. There's also grades here. This is where you can consolidate the grades of your students. But then of course, no, yan, makita nyo po, may 98 po na grade yung isa, ganyan. And you can even export to Excel. But then, syempre, hindi po to yung standard na grading system ng DepEd. But then, if you're going to export it in Excel, pwede nyo na lang pong i-copy-paste dun sa ating grading sheet, no, for submission sa ating principal or division. Ayan. So you can add a lot of applications here, even insights. The insights will actually help you take a look yung engagement po natin sa mga estudyante natin, ilan ang how many are lagging in your lessons, ilan po yung hindi nakapag-submit, ano po yung average grade nila, ganyan. So that you will actually see na gaano ba ka-effective yung ginagawa nating learning with our students. So while that is loading, no, but yeah, you can actually check on the insights, no. It's already available. Ayan po, no. We'll just click on the tab there. Tingnan natin. Ayan. Ayan. So this is your insights actually. So makikita mo diyan, no. Average grade for your students, digital activity, nag-a-attend ba sila ganyan? Of course, zero yun nandiyan dahil hindi pa naman po natin inumpisahan yung klase, 'di ba? But you can actually see here, no, yung insights for our students. Let me check, no. Ayan. So makikita nyo dyan, average grade is 78%, digital activity is 9%, no. Average time for feedback is 2.4 days. So at least you have an idea, okay? And you can always export this into Excel worksheet. Now, last that I wanted to show you is how are you going to connect with your student via chat. For example, gusto kong i-chat yung aking estudyante na si Juan. Okay, si 1, 2, 3. You can always in the side dito po sa side ng ating uh, search command bar, meron pong maliit na icon diyan. Just click on that to create a new chat, and then say for example, yun nga, kausapin natin si Juan. So kung meron pong Office 365 account ang ating mga estudyante, just type in their name, makikita po ninyo yan, and then you can actually chat with one another like, "Hi Juan, kamusta ka na?" Ayan. So it will be sent, no? So if there are, say, guidance counselors here, no, in the call, this is how you can, engage your student, talk to them, in a more, intimate manner na hindi dun sa conversations inside Microsoft Teams, no? So you can chat and you can actually elevate it in an audio call or a video conferencing, no? So if you want to see them face to face. Okay po? Okay, one last. Give me few minutes pa. Napag-usapan din natin na kailangan nating mag-create ng consultation hours or virtual office hours. Okay? So here, nakikita niyo po sa aking kalendaryo, meron po akong 2 consultation hours. Tatanggalin ko muna to, ika-cancel ko muna para at least mapakita ko sa inyo. Okay. Now, so for example, for you to schedule your virtual office hours. For example, from 5 o'clock to 5:30, gagawa kayo ng virtual office hours. Every day 'yan, no? So this is how you're going to create your virtual office hours. So dito sa kalendaryo po natin, just click anywhere dun sa tapat ng inyong oras na gustong lagyan ng virtual office hours. So click nyo lang po 'yan, and then it will create a new meeting. So for example, say math consultation hours. Ayan. So, no need to add required attendees kasi may papakita po ako sa inyo in a bit. And then just click on tuwing kailan yung ating consultation hours. Say for example, start po siya today, 5 p.m. to 5:30. That's a 30-minute time for you to meet with your students. And then click on, so kung gusto po nating araw-araw po ito, at hindi na natin uulitin pa o paulit-ulit yung paggawa ng ating calendar invite, just click on every weekday. Every weekday. Okay, kindly mute lang po. Ayan. Now, papaano nyo po ilalagay yan sa channel wherein para ma-introduce yung ma-notify yung ating estudyante. So here, you can actually put it in a channel. For example, in your algebra channel in the general tab. Ayan. So papakita ko sa inyo yan in a bit, no? So please join the call if you have questions. Ayan. Okay, and then once done, tapos na po lahat yung settings natin, just click on send. So makikita po natin dito, nagpo-provision na po yung ating call. Okay, and then makikita po natin dun sa ating algebra. Let me go to the algebra class. And ayan po, math consultation hours occurs every workday, Monday to Friday, 5 p.m. So pagdating po ng alas 5 as a teacher, kailangan nyo lang pong i-click tong kalendaryo na to and then click on join meeting. Okay, once joined, no, syempre maghihintay po tayo ng 30 minutes. Meron o wala pong estudyante na magjo-join, kindly stay at the designated time from 5 o'clock to 5:30. Kasi baka mamaya nag-join nga yung estudyante, wala naman po kayo doon. So useless po yung consultation hours natin. So always no, be at your consultation hours um at the date and time allotted. So para po pag may questions si estudyante, you can just join the call and you know, ask questions. Okay, so that's all about Microsoft Teams, and here are some of the tools. No, this is just tip of the iceberg. So sandamakmak po na tools ang nasa loob po ng Microsoft Teams for you to take advantage with. You have Peer Deck, you have Kahoot, you have Flipgrid, Poly AI, and a lot more of tools that you can take advantage inside Microsoft Teams. And then you have to maintain your connection with your students. No, that's very critical. Lalo na po na kapag we're doing online lesson or remote learning sessions, no, kailangan po nating i-engage sila. Kailangan to yung magtanong. We also need to be on our best dress, no. So sana naman po wala pong nakasando lang na teacher, no, na gumagawa ng remote learning ganyan. So kailangan pa rin pong ma-maintain po natin, no, yung ating um, uh, feature, no, as a teacher. Okay, so we have to engage them. Also, if it helps, we can also maintain routines like kung sa simula ng klase, ang ginagawa po natin ay nagre-recite po tayo ng pledge sa ating minamahal na Pilipinas, or if we have prayer, ganyan, or if we are doing school song, do that as well in your remote learning. No, so we don't need to take away that from them kasi at least with that mararamdaman po nila na they're still studying. Nasa school pa rin sila pero not just in the physical classroom, 'di ba? Or if every Monday may morning greeting si principal, pwede rin po natin gawin 'yan, no? We can actually ask our principal to record his or her message and just play, no, during our remote learning. Okay? Again, let go of the need to be perfect. Okay? Even in our classroom, no, hindi in the physical classroom, hindi naman po tayo perfect. Marami pa rin po to yung pagkakamali. So, no need to, project ourselves na alam natin lahat ganyan. No, so we need to admit as well to our students na they are also new to this technology. We are new to this way of delivering our lessons. No, so let go of perfection. Okay po. Then lastly, don't forget about social and emotional learning. No? So kailangan pa rin po na our students should learn about self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, responsible decision-making, relationship skills. Kailangan pa rin pong nai-inculcate natin yan sa kanila during our remote learning sessions. So that's it for me. I'll now open the floor for questions before I'm going to give you a code for your certificates. No? So aside siguro from certificates that being issued to you during this webinar, meron din pong certificates si Microsoft that will give you, no, after this webinar. So any questions po from the Facebook or from the call? Let me see here. Naku, mukhang walang question. Yes, no, so you can integrate po yung mga tools like Kotobi if it's accessible via website ganyan, you can integrate it inside Microsoft Teams. Paano ini-integrate yung mga yan? Just go here. Okay, if that website if that application is accessible via web, just click on the plus button here to add a new tab, and then click on the website, and then ilalagay lang po natin yung URL dito ng website, and then just click OK. So makikita nyo na po yung website dyan sa tab ng inyong Microsoft Teams, no? So yan. So for example, this is a website, no? So ginawa po namin, nilagay namin as a tab. No? So pwedeng, halimbawa, gusto nyong matuto yung mga estudyante po natin, no? For Microsoft Teams, pwede nyong ilagay ito and then they'll just watch it here. Okay? Any more questions? May question po ba? Okay. Mukhang nahihiya po tayo. I hope that we learned something new for our session for today. Lumagpas na pa ako ng 8 minutes, but let me give you your code for the Microsoft Educator Center. Ayan. So kindly, screenshot this. No. Also, I want as well to get your feedback about the learning session that I delivered. So kindly scan the QR code for you to give your feedback or survey to answer that survey. And redeem your code in the Microsoft Educator Center. Ang link po niya ay education.microsoft.com. Again, education.microsoft.com. Kung gusto niyo pong malaman paano i-claim yung ating certificate and badges, panoorin ito, how to claim your code, for you to have the step-by-step process on how to claim your certificate from Microsoft, how to get your badges. Okay? And also in the Microsoft Educator Center, let me just tingnan ko na lang, no? Education.microsoft.com here. Ayan. So this is the Microsoft Educator Center. So here, kung gusto niyo pong ipagpatuloy yung ating learning, actually yung pong binigay ko po sa inyo na session ngayon is nakapaloob po dito. Galing po dito yung session na yon. But lucky you, hindi niyo na kailangan kunin yung course na yon because you will be given code na po to get the certificate. Okay, so marami pong learning path dito, not just about Microsoft. You will also, learn about 21st century learning design, mga ganyan. Master the Microsoft Teams for remote learning, no, if you're going to use Microsoft Teams. So a lot of courses are here, so kindly explore na lang po. Again, education.microsoft.com. And I will again post this. No, the code is ayan po, paki-screenshot na lang. And please don't forget to answer the survey after our session. That's it for me. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat, no, sa pag-iimbita po sa akin sa hapon na ito. And also, again, my name is Yufer from Line Learning and Development Solutions. No, just feel free to send us an email to ask us a question. Kung meron kayong mga tanong, or you can actually engage us in our Facebook page at facebook.com/line.lnd. You can also we plan now to create content in our YouTube channel. Kakagawa lang po namin ito 2 days ago, but we plan to create content, no, for Microsoft Teams and other stuff in our YouTube channel. So abangan nyo po yan. Weekly, meron pong panibagong content. Okay? So with that, maraming salamat po. Let me just go back to the call here. And thank you so much po, DepEd Imus, for this opportunity to share with you.
Maraming salamat. Maraming salamat, Sir Yufer.
Thank you po.
So Yufer, siguro ito na yung time para magtanong.
Yes, kindly read those questions po kung meron po kayong mga question.
Meron tayong isang question dito coming from Ma'am Eileen Genes.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Magkakaroon po ba ng isa lang na domain para sa online teaching for teachers and learners?
All right. So I think this question would be better. Makakasagot po nito is ating Department of Education. But if you're going to ask me if you're going to have a single domain, so right now I think you already have your Office 365. And if you're going to use Microsoft Teams, no, so pwede po nating ilagay lahat doon. A single team can actually accommodate 5,000. I think in-increase na nila so 10,000 students, no. So depende po sa ating structure, no. There are a lot of things that you can do inside Microsoft Teams. I'm sorry if hindi ko masyadong masagot ito dahil this question should be forwarded to our ating Department of Education.
Oo nga naman, oo nga. Sir, isa pa kay Sir Dennis.
Yes, sir.
Sir, ask lang po kung same features ang Outlook account sa Teams. Since
Okay.
wala pa pong coming Office 365.
Ayan. So, meron po tayong tinatawag na free na Microsoft Teams, no? The free Microsoft Teams, marami pong mga features na wala. You cannot actually create assignments doon, ganyan. But okay, kung gusto po natin makipag-connect sa ating estudyante, if we want to talk with them, no, you can use that naman, but it's better for you if nandyan na po yung ating Office 365 account and activate it para po mas seamless po yung ating pagde-deliver ng ating remote learning session.
Yun. Meron pa po isa.
Yes po.
What if wala pong Office 365? Mga
Okay.
learners.
So, ayan. So, nabanggit ko po kanina kung wala pa pong Office 365, no? So, antay po tayo kasi I think naman there's a plan na to on I don't quote me for this. So, I think there's a plan naman na to give accounts to our students, but as of the meantime kung wala pa po silang account, you can actually add them inside Microsoft Teams with their personal account po, no? Their yahoo.com, gmail.com, hotmail.com. So pwede naman po.
Yeah, Sir Bob, in addition,
Sige, sir. Sir June.
yes. Actually, i-request natin yung mga account nila.
That's
So,
great. That's great.
yes, as of the moment kasi, Ufer, meron na kami around 1,300 accounts na naibigay na. 0365 accounts.
Nice,
Yes.
nice. Congratulations po.
Yes, hopefully matapos namin by the end of July. Sana maibigay namin lahat para ma-invite ka namin ng isang comprehensive na training for OT65.
Sige, sir.
Yes.
Let's
So yung ako may tanong.
Yes po.
Sa live, Imus Teams live, ilan ang capacity?
Okay, so the Teams live event can accommodate right now, Teams live event can accommodate 10,000. Okay? So yung ginagawa po natin kasi ngayon is Microsoft Teams call. This can only accommodate 250. Pero pag live event po, 10,000 po. Ngayon, si Microsoft, I don't know if they actually extended it, but until July 2020, ang Teams live event can accommodate 20,000 po.
Oh, marami.
And
20,000.
follow-up questions, Victor.
Yes po.
Ako, maraming tanong, Sir Bob, ano?
Ano po ang question?
Actually, tanong to kanina nung aking mga kasamahan sa DepEd Imus. Possible ba na magkaroon ng live session si MS Teams live? Pero manage siya, isang lang, hindi siya naka-broadcast sa buong Facebook.
Manage, yes sir. So in Microsoft Teams, if you're going to create your live account, your Teams live event, sige, let me just show you na lang para at least saglit lang naman to. Okay.
Jen, nasagot na tanong mo.
Okay, so here, so if you're going to create a Teams live event, dito po tayo magki-create, di ba? So if you wanted to be exclusive in your organization, okay, so yan. So for example, ganyan, just click on next here. Meron po siya nakalagay dito organization-wide. So pag organization-wide lang po, exclusive po to sa DepEd, si DepEd Imus, halimbawa. Kung sino lang po yung may mga Office 365 email, sila lang po ang pwedeng mag-join. Pag wala po silang Office 365 email, they cannot join the live event. So for example, di ba, si SDS, sabi niya, I want to address the entire DepEd Imus. Di ba? With, gusto ko nasa isang call tayong lahat. So you can create a Teams live event na nakalagay organization-wide lang po. Okay, so pag public po kasi, of course, yung link po kapag po pinasa po nila sa ibang mga tao, syempre anybody can just go there and watch the live event. But if org-wide po, kung sino lang po yung member ng organization, yun lang po ang pwede maka-join dun sa Teams live event. Okay?
So kapag
Okay.
follow so kapag naka-public, ang makaka-join ay yung merong link and they will join as a guest. Okay?
Yes. Okay, lahat po guest, no? So, yun po, everybody can join kapag public kasi we'll just send the attendee link to all people and then click lang po nila yon and then they can just watch in their browser.
Noted.
Okay?
Loud and clear. Any more questions, Sir Bob?
Wala na.
Okay.
Oo. Okay.
And, yes,
Sir
Maraming
Yufer, maraming salamat.
Thank you so much po.
Sir, yeah, Sir Yufer, in behalf of DepEd Imus City, katulad po ng sinabi ko kanina sa aming mga speakers from PLDT, pinapaabot po ng aming Schools Division Superintendent at ng Dr. Rosemary Torres and Assistant Schools Division Superintendent Sir Ivan Brian po ang aming pasasalamat. At alam namin napaka-busy po ng schedule, lalo na ninyo ni Sir Erwin. Alam po, sobrang dami yung mga commitments right now. Okay? And yet talagang pinagbigyan nyo kami. And Sir Yufer, sana huwag po kayong madadala sa amin dahil marami po kaming request sa mga susunod pa.
Sige lang po, basta po i-schedule natin. I'm very much happy to help and learn with you guys. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you.
So,
Sir Bob.
okay, so ngayon naman, tutungo tayo sa isang announcement, no, ng manggagaling sa ating Schools Division Office para po sa evaluation. At para naman po explain ito, atin pong tinatawagan si Ma'am Jeneline Andrada. Ma'am Jen,
Hello po, Sir
magandang
Bob.
hapon.
Good afternoon po. Magandang buhay. Ayan, sige po, i-flash natin. This is actually the M&E part of our 5-day IT series. Ano po? So, hindi po ito makakompleto kung wala tayong evaluation na ilalabas. Simplified na po ito. Asa na po ba ang ating tool, Sir Dennis? Pwede na po siguro nating ilabas. Marami pa po bang mga ano? Ayan. Pag sinagutan niyo po yung ating link, may QR code din po iyan. Please take note that the evaluation for FASI and session po ay iisa na lang po. For the entire group of LFs or learning facilitators and all sets of sessions po na ginawa natin, isang session link na lang po iyan. Ano po? Hindi na po katulad nung dati na kada session FASI, kung tatlo po yan, tatlo rin po sasagutan nyo. Ito po, isa na lang po for the entire activity po, for the entire 5-day activity. So, para lang po siyang end of program. Ano po? Tapos po, lalabas na lang po dyan sa ating feedback sa inyo pong mga learnings. Doon na lang po, pakigandahan po hanggat maaari kung ano po ang inyong insights at accurate na feedback, authentic feedback, pakilagay na lang po doon. Ano po? Dahil doon na lang tayo magbabase. Alright po. I think klaro na po yan. Parang ayun. Asan na yung ating link? Ayun po, sa ilalim yung umaandar-andar. Yung running, anong tawag dyan? Nasa ilalim. SDOIC Connected Evaluation Link. Baka hindi nila masyado makita. Connected SDOIC. Tapos may QR code yan na rin po yan para kung hindi kayo mahirapan na mag-type pa. Ano po? Para mas madali para sa ating lahat. Please do not forget kasi Sir June, na-discuss po ba na kung sino po ang magbibigay po ng bibigyan po natin ng certificate base sa evaluation response po nila?
Sorry. Actually, kanina Ma'am Jen, na-discuss ni Ma'am Riza, no? Ito ang isa sa mga basehan ng yung online evaluation tsaka yung cascading nito. Kasi kaya grupo yung kasali dito, magka-cascade kasi sila.
Opo,
So
yun
yun
po.
yung requirement natin for the certificate naman na i-provide natin pag na-comply nila yung
Correct.
mga requirements na yun.
Yes,
And
sige.
actually Ma'am Jen, hindi naman sila mahirapan na doon dahil recorded naman ito. If ever na kailangan lang balikan yung lesson or yung lesson ay palagay nila na mas maganda kapag pinanood na lang sila katulad ng data privacy kasi napakahirap na usapin ng data privacy. they can use our video as reference.
Ayun po. Ayun po pala. Mas madali na po. Mas sinimplify na po yung ating evaluation link. Plus, you have a ready reference kasi nga po ito ay uploaded itong ating buong activity. So, I think that will be all. Maraming salamat po. Magandang buhay ulit. Sir Bob.
Maraming salamat, Ma'am Jen. Okay. Para naman po sa ating susunod na speaker for this afternoon. Siya po ay isang IT instructor. Company name ay Informatics International. Siya po ay nag-deliver ng AutoCAD 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional for 4 trimesters sa eskwelahan na po na ito. So, nag-deliver yung MS Office for 1 trimester. Nag-deliver ng database management system using MS Access for 1 trimester. And nag-initiate and coordinate ng students' involvement sa Microsoft Innovation Center using Microsoft Technologies. Siya po ay dating technical assistant sa DNR, Air Quality Management Section. Product specialist ng Microsoft. Account Technology Strategist ng Microsoft Philippines. And currently, he is the president and founder ng Line Learning and Development Solutions. Please all welcome Sir John Erwin Magno. Sir Erwin, good afternoon.
Hi, Sir Erwin.
Hello, sir. Okay, so habang hinihintay natin si... Nandiyan na ba? Sir Erwin? Wala pa. Okay, so habang hinihintay natin si Sir Erwin, para po sa mga viewers natin sa YouTube, please don't forget to subscribe, click like, and hit the notification bell for future videos ng ating pong Schools Division of Imus City. Para naman po sa ating Facebook, please like and follow para din po sa mga videos na ipapalabas ng ating pong opisina. Marami po sa mga videos natin ay dito po ilalabas sa mga account ng YouTube and Facebook. Ang pangalan po ng account natin ay DepEd Tayo Imus City. Yeah. And please don't forget to put the hashtag sa mga ililink po natin o i-comment. Sir June.
Hindi ba namimiss yung raffle natin ng Cyber Expo?
Oh. Si Sir Gerson ba yung nakakuha ng trip to Baguio?
Yes.
Sabi ko, pwede ko ipalit trip to Zimbabwe.
Okay. While waiting, makukonect yung ating speaker, hininga natin ng message ang ating Schools Division Superintendent. Sir Bob, pwedeng pakisayawan mo na sila para naman habang nakikinig sila mag-enjoy sila. Sayawan mo muna o kaya kantahan mo ha. At pupuntahan ko lang ayan, andito na po.
Nandiyan na.
Yes, parang nandito na si Sir Dennis. Ready na ba si Sir Erwin?
Ready na? Mahihirapan ako dyan. Masumayaw.
Saglit,
Baka
hingan natin ng
YouTube.
mensahe ang ating Schools Division Superintendent para masaya.
Ayan. Okay. So, habang hinihintay natin Sir Erwin, hindi ko kayang sumayaw. Baka Ayan na? Okay.
Yes, sir. Nandito na.
Sir,
Sakto, 2:30,
Sir Erwin, magandang hapon.
Magandang hapon, Sir Bob.
Yan. So, ibibigay ko na ang airtime sa'yo.
Okay, sige po. Maraming salamat, Sir Bob. No? Nakikita niyo po ba yung slides ko po ngayon or yung presentation slide ko? Okay,
Kitang-kita.
Kitang-kita.
Sir Erwin.
Very good. Okay, so maraming salamat, Sir Bob. So, welcome everyone. Magandang hapon po sa lahat. Papasalamat po ako sa invitasyon na binigay ni Sir June sa DepEd Imus. So, maraming salamat po. Kanina po,
Mr. Erwin, sorry.
Trabaho, si Ufer, sinabi niya yung tungkol sa remote learning. So, today, we will continue yung session natin about remote learning on keeping students engaged naman. So, how were you able to connect pa rin with your students kahit remote sila, pero yung engagement mo is maganda pa din? Okay? So, just to give you a background about myself, I'm John Erwin Magno. You can call me Erwin. Some people in DepEd, they call me John Lloyd kasi nagpapakilala ako as John Lloyd. So, I think si Sir Bob, mas gwapo pa rin sa akin yan. So, at saka si Sir Jun. No? Pero mas naniniwala sila ako daw si JM de Guzman. Naniniwala ba kayo doon? So, comment lang kayo. Pero, I'm the President and Senior IT Trainer ng Line Learning and Development Solutions. So, I've been in the industry for 10 years. Nag-work ako as a professor in informatics. Nagtuturo ako ng database management system, ng computer-aided design like AutoCAD, and at the same time, yung Microsoft Office. So, yung mga applications natin na ganyan. And then, nagkaroon din ako ng experience sa government. I work as a data analyst sa Department of Environment and Natural Resources under ng Air Quality Management section. So, in terms of industry, meron akong school, meron akong government. And then from that time, I had an offer in Microsoft as a product specialist and an account technology strategist. For 3 years, nagstay ako doon. Basically, what I do, I handle, as part of the marketing team, I handle trainings. Okay, so in terms of trainings, mga pre-sales, post-sales, so we see to it na yung binibili ng customer is na ma-maximize nila. Kasi the challenge, sometimes when we have this commodity or meron tayong software, binibili natin pero hindi natin na ma-maximize. So my goal is to equip everyone and to maximize kung yung technology na meron at ano pa yung makapabilis dun sa proseso nila at sa trabaho nila. Okay? And then from there, after 3 years na experience ko sa Microsoft with a lot of industries na tinuruan ko, we started a company. It started 2016 and kasama ko na dyan. Si Ufer Passion is my best friend. He's also a Microsoft MVP. Siya sa Windows, ako sa Office. So, tambay kami. Okay? So, I'm also a Microsoft Office specialist na pumasa, and then Microsoft Educator, Microsoft Certified Educator, baliktad and easy na ilagay ko. Pero at the same time, I'm a Microsoft Innovative Educator. So basically ngayon, ang ginagawa namin is nag-train na kami ngayon across all sa DepEd. If ever naman you need to connect with me, there's my LinkedIn page. You can take a screenshot, or if you have any questions regarding on the topic that we have, nandiyan lang po yung email address ko. Okay? So thank you so much. Now, our objective for today is to learn more about Microsoft. Hello, sorry. I'll stop there and I'll check. Okay.
Sir Erwin, excuse?
Yes, Sir June.
Yes. Pwede bang ma-interrupt ka kahit na ilang minutes lang?
Sige po, Sir Jun, go ahead.
Yes. Para hingan natin ng mensahe ang ating Schools Division Superintendent.
Nice. Welcome po, sige po.
Yes. Maraming salamat po.
Tinanong ka sa ano eh. DO22. Kaya ka manahan. Good afternoon, a pleasant and a blessed afternoon to all of you attendees of this very worthy undertaking. Hello? Ay, teka. Nakamute ako. Ay, hindi. Okay. Hello, good morning. Ay, good afternoon. Okay. So again, a pleasant and a blessed afternoon to all of you. At last, we come to an end after your how many days of webinar? 3 days, right? Spending your time listening attentively, browsing to your minds or the knowledge and skills that, of course, you have learned from our equally competent and I can say knowledgeable resource speakers and facilitators. Well, I just hope that all of you will apply all the vital insights, all the vital learning as we are facing the new normal this coming August 24. Definitely one of the learning modalities that, of course, we will be offering to our school children is the use of online platform. And this worthy undertaking can help enhance the competency, the skills, and of course the knowledge of all of you participants in trying to use the skills that you have gained out of the lectures, out of the discussions, given by, like what I've told you before, our equally outstanding resource speakers and facilitators. Well, the online platform will be used in teaching our school learners, and I'm sure takeaways can help you enhance your skills in facilitating this learning modality effectively and efficiently. My commendation to Sir Jun Adelan, our very competent and I can say one of the assets of SDO Imus City, our ICT coordinator, for coming up to this worthy undertaking. And of course, the people behind, all the people behind this worthy undertaking, the ICT coordinators of each school, the technical working group. Congratulations for the job well done. Kudos to all of you. And of course, this is one way of showing me your 100% support of ensuring the best delivery of educational services to all our clientele. To all the participants, thank you very much for bearing with us. Your participation to this webinar is worth recognizing. Soar high and continue to be a blessing to everybody. Let us always practice our SDO Imus City mantra. Hindi obligasyon, kundi dedikasyon. Dahil sa Imus, importante ka. Lahat po tayo ay bida. Okay? Again, congratulations to all the participants. Congratulations to all the resource speakers, to all the facilitators, and of course, my deepest gratitude to all of you. Thank you very much for giving what you 100% best in making our teachers ready and prepared for the August 24 opening of classes. God bless to all of you at mabuhay po tayong lahat.
Rosemary Torres, ating Port Schools Division Superintendent. Ayan. Sir Erwin.
Ayan po, maraming salamat Ma'am Rose sa magandang message para sa lahat, no? Ako naniniwala ko ang ganda ng tagline na hindi obligasyon kundi dedikasyon. Napakaganda. Actually, sa pagpunta nyo pa lang dito, isang malaking bagay na pinapakita nyo yung dedikasyon nyo talaga na para matuto. And bilang matuto, isang guro, ito ay pinapasa din natin sa ating mga estudyante. So yung technology na meron tayo ngayon, ang kinaganda sa kanya, tinuturo natin yung behavior sa paggamit ng mga online tools like yung Microsoft Teams na dinidiscuss natin ngayon. And then pag-graduate natin, ang challenge kasi natin dati, di ba? Paano mo mapagdudugtong ang edukasyon dun sa industriya? Di ba? So the good thing dyan, ang nag-augment dyan, ang nagdudugtong ng lahat ng yan is yung teknolohiya. And kung ano man yung tools na ginagamit nyo ngayon, yan din yung ipapasa nyo or yun din ang gagamitin ng mga estudyante pagka-graduate nila sa inyo. So, ayan yung pinakamaganda dyan. So, nire-ready natin yung mga students. Okay? Now, hindi hadlang ang panahon or what, hindi natin kailangan hintayin na magkaroon pa ng ganitong crisis na meron tayo ngayon, di ba? Pero ang kinaganda dyan ngayon, nagpapatuloy tayo na kaya natin mag-adapt. So, kahit bata ka pa or experience ka na dun sa industriya mo, wala sa edad yan. Ang goal natin dito is para matulungan natin yung mga learners natin, yung mga estudyante. Okay, so maraming salamat ulit, Ma'am Rose, sa napakagandang mensahe. Tabak ng puso or nakakaantig ng puso. Okay? So today, again, going back, ang objective natin, kanina, Yufer showed you ano yung difference between synchronous and asynchronous. Diba, pinakita niya yung basics ng Microsoft Teams. Today, we'll go in depth on other things or other tools na gagamitin mo or features na meron sa Microsoft Teams. Lalo na pagdating ng August 24, pag-open natin ng classes, ano yung mga pwede nyong gamitin ng mga features inside Microsoft Teams. Okay? So, aside from that, mamaya makikita nyo rin na meron din isa pang tool na tinatawag na Microsoft Stream. Okay? Yung Microsoft Stream, yan po ay parang YouTube page nyo inside DepEd. Okay? Meaning to say, saya sinabi ko inside DepEd, kung wala kang DepEd email account, hindi mo ma-access yung Stream. That is for your privacy and security din as an organization. Okay? At the same time, pag-uusapan din natin, ipapakita natin sa inyo yung paggamit ng OneNote Plus Notebook. Okay? So, ang ginagawa ng OneNote Plus Notebook, imagine dati, pag in the face-to-face na training or delivery ng subject natin, di ba? Yung topic, ibibigay mo yung handouts or most of the time, sinusulat mo din siya sa blackboard or sa whiteboard. Now, in terms of digital, hindi mo siya magagawa. Though meron namang features like the whiteboard tool inside Microsoft Teams, pero pag magbibigay ka ng handouts, the good thing there is meron kang OneNote Plus Notebook. I know for a fact that yung some of our learners and even our teachers is having a hard time, lalo na ngayon sa internet connection. So ano yung mga remediation na pwede natin gamitin para yung learners, pwede pa rin sila makapag-communicate and collaborate pag wala or kung mahina internet or walang internet. Ano yung gagawin natin as educators? Okay? So, yan po. So first, we'll talk about remote learning. So kanina, just a recap, remote learning is different from your online learning. Magkaiba po sila. Yung remote learning, lalo na ngayon, nagkakaroon tayo ng synchronous and asynchronous kasi. So pag minsan pag online learning, it's like a webinar, ganyan, natututo ka. Pero ang remote learning is, lalo na sa crisis natin ngayon, it's an augmented part ng when we teach in the classroom. Diba? Yung traditional classroom setting natin. Paano mo ngayon i-migrate natin or moving to sa new normal natin na tinatawag. Okay? Another good thing sa kanya, it's a cost-efficient way sa lahat ng mga teachers in terms of yung mga hindi makapag-access sa learning space, ganyan. So ano yung mga pwede mong gawin? Okay? So ikaw as guro, educator, may mga ways ka para gawin yun. So mamaya papakita ko yung mga functionalities na pwede nyo gawin dun sa remote learning environment. Okay? Now, ano yung difference niya between online delivery? Okay? May pinagkaiba ba? So dito, sinabi niya dito na learners rely on facilitator to bridge the physical space or physical distance and separates the participants. So usually, online delivery, one-way stream, si teacher nag-deliver, just like for example, ikaw as a teacher, nag-record ka, nilagay mo sa isang platform na media, tapos share mo, that's a one way. Okay? One way approach of online delivery. Okay? Another is social dynamics are the same, but the implications are different. Okay? In terms of social, madalas, pag ginagawa mo yung online delivery, nakapag-comment ka, pero ang challenge dyan is, ang pinagkaiba niya is, dito, sa remote learning environment, pwede mo gawin synchronous and asynchronous. Okay? And then at the same time, yung content can feel static or distant. Okay? Now, ano yung kailangan mong gawin? So kanina si Lufer, pinakita niya sa inyo paano gumawa ng Microsoft Teams. Now, in terms of delivery, paano mo na siya gagawin in a classroom setup or in a division setup? Ano yung magandang approach? So first, pag-usapan natin tong part na to, yung at team for grade levels. So at team for grade levels, pag gagawa kayo ng isang team sa Microsoft Teams, okay, gagawa ka ng grade levels para makapag-usap yung mga guro in terms of delivery. Kasi, given the fact na sa traditional learning environment, kung primary school ka at half day, the whole day na doon yung estudyante, hindi mo siya pwedeng gawin na straightforward na 6 hours or 8 hours silang nakatutok sa screen. So may mga ways na dapat kang gawin. And yung mga guro, kailangan mag-usap kung paano yung strategy na gagawin nila. So first, kailangan discuss nyo kung ano yung sa team grade levels, pag may naggawa na kayong teams, usually PLC, ang professional learning community na tinuro niyo for kanina, you will discuss kung ano yung mga struggles ng mga students. And lalo na ngayon na mag-start tayo ng class ng August 24, expect na ang una nilang sasabihin dyan is the internet connection. Okay? Kaya tayo, since meron pa tayo ilang linggo pa bago dun sa actual na pag-start ng class, ngayon dapat naghahanda tayo ano yung mga backup plans natin pag yung mga estudyante natin ay nahihirapan mag-connect sa internet. Okay? Now, aside from that, nakalagay dyan na practice using team features with colleagues before trying them with students. So ngayon, bago pag-open ng class, dapat tayo as guro, pinapractice na natin para hindi rin tayo nangangapa pagdating ng klase. Okay? Kasi ang challenge kasi kung hindi mo nasubukan ng una, mangangapa kayo lahat, and then yung oras na inalat ng mga estudyante at expect hindi lahat ng estudyante is naka-wifi, naka-wired network. Yung iba dyan, mga estudyante dyan, connect via data. And some teachers also connect using their data. So dapat kayo mag-practice yun para hindi nasasayang yung oras. Okay? And then, dun sa grade levels, since PLC siya or professional learning community or sa DepEd, we call it lock sessions, di ba? Pwede nyo gawin yan dyan. So may lock sessions kayo, etc. etc. And then from there, since tayo as individuals, we are sociable, maganda may check-in with each other. Okay? Sino ba dito yung mga nakakaranas na the whole day feel mo ngayon na work from home? Parang mas mabigat yata ang work from home kasi anytime pwede akong tawagin, di ba? So dapat meron din tayong balance. Ikaw din as guro or individual, dapat alam mo yung balance kung ano yung kukunin mo na call at hindi. Okay? So again, the good thing naman with the technology, kung hindi mo kaya puntahan yung isa at hindi ka naman talaga kailangan, pwede naman na-record yan at pwede mo panoorin. So mamaya titignan natin paano mag-record using Microsoft Teams. Okay? Now, another suggestion when you create a Microsoft Teams, gagawa kayo ng staff team for each division sa school. Para lahat ng mga concerns, whether sa primary school or lower school, intermediate school, middle schoolers, or junior high school to senior high school, ma-address lalo na pa nagkakaroon ng announcements. Okay? And then, lahat ng mga possible na pag-uusapan on grade levels, ma-address pa lang, dun pa lang. Okay? So, example ng mga ganyan is yung online graduation. Diba? Ngayon, some of the divisions is actually embracing yung online graduation. And then coming the next school year, ito, yung August natin, pwede nyo actually gawin na magkaroon ng online orientation or virtual orientation sa lahat. And yung Microsoft Teams platform natin can actually house 10,000 students. Okay? Now, that's on the Microsoft Teams alone. Pag ginamit mo yung Microsoft Teams, so it's part of the Office 365 na meron kayo, pag ginamit mo yung stream to broadcast, you can actually connect up to 100,000. So, in terms of orientation, rather than doing it per class or doing it per school, why not we create para lahat ng schools under ng division mo, pwede mag-join doon and then manonood ng orientation. So, the good thing, sabi ko nga kanina, dun sa first part, it's cost efficient. Bakit? One time, big time, ipakita mo, ito na yung agenda, just make sure na maganda yung planning, no? And then, pagka-deliver, mas madali na lang. Okay? So, that's one of the suggestion na pwede yung gawin in terms of using Microsoft Teams. And last, a team for each class. So, a team for each class, so pagdating ng klase or ng school year, ang gagawin nyo, gagawa kayo ng Microsoft Teams. So, di ba kanina, pinakita ni Ufer, may 4 na klase na Microsoft Teams. We have the classroom, we have the PLC, we have the staff, and we have the others. So, ang gagamitin nyo doon is yung class. Now, best suggestion from me, ang una nyong gagawin is gagawa kayo ng class. Sa class na yon, pag gumawa ka ng class, meron ka mga tinatawag na channels na pinakita rin ni Ufer kanina. Ang suggestion ko dyan, gagawa kayo dyan ng per subject. Now, sir, pwede ko bang gawin siya per subject na lang pero hindi per each class? Now, since this is the first time na gagamitin ng mga estudyante yung platform, and since block sections naman ang mga estudyante, ang kinaganda na approach nyo dyan is gagamitin nyo siya per class and then per subject. So, ikaw, isang guro, gagawin mo, ikaw yung advisor, gagawa ka ng isang team, tapos i-invite mo yung mga co-teachers mo on that class. Para yung estudyante, imbis na mag-move from one team to another team, isa na lang yung pupuntahan niya. Kasi technically, hina-house mo lahat yung mga topics or yung mga classes doon sa area na yun. Okay? So, yun yung mga pwede nyo gawin in terms of managing yung Microsoft Teams. Now, let me just check. I'm not sure kung may questions. Let me just check yung meeting chat. Ayun. Nag-get ko daw. Okay. I hope okay pa rin. Okay na daw. Okay. Now, in terms of using Microsoft Teams, ang kinaganda sa kanya is you can actually post announcements. In terms of, kunyari, during the class na, instead of maglalagay ka lang ng simple chat, mas maganda mag-post ka ng announcement. Para si student, ang gagawin na lang niya, magbabrowse na lang siya dun sa list of chat, dun sa mga channels, and then kung may announcements, kung makikita nyo dito sa area na to, ito yung tinatawag na announcement. So meron siyang banner. Okay? Diba? Pag gumagamit ka ng other messaging tools, okay? Diba? Or kahit sa simple email lang. Usually black and white lang yan. Diba? So, tuloy-tuloy na lang na text. Pero dito, you have banners like this para si estudyante makapag-focus kung anong klase ba siya. So, best suggestion in terms of using announcements, ang gagamitin nyo is magkaroon kayo ng specific banner. For example, assignments. So, every time na gagawa ka ng assignment, dapat same yung banner na gagamitin mo. Para si estudyante, okay, pag pumunta dun sa classroom niya, dun sa online classroom niya, makikita niya ngayon na, okay, assignment to. So, kailangan ko gawa ng paraan niya. Okay? Or probably, ito yung mga seat work na gagawin ko. So, iba-iba yung banner para alam niya agad. And even the parents, if you involve the parents there, makikita ng parents, oh, may assignment ka kasi during your orientation, sasabihin mo, yung mga banners are important. Alam na agad ng teacher, alam na agad ng parents na yung banner na yan is para sa assignment. Okay? Or project, pwedeng gano'n. Okay? Now, starting a Teams call and have students join. So, in terms of delivery, ang unang gagawin nyo dyan is on the first week ng klase, hindi ka agad magtuturo. Similar naman din, di ba? Ako, I'm a proud graduate ng public school din. So, ang kinaganda dyan is, usually naman may enrollment, may mahabol dun sa enrollment, etc., etc. Pero, gagamitin mo yung oras na yun, yung time ng first week, 5 to 7 days or minsan 10 days, to brief them on using the technology. Bakit mo siya ginagawa? Kasi, imagine, binigyan kita ng isang platform or binigyan kita ng isang gift. Tapos, it's a generalized gift na hindi mo naman alam gawin or gamitin. And walang instruction. So, mas maganda, pag nag-start yung klase, bibigay mo yung tool, ito, dito kayo magko-connect, And then, pag-aralan natin kung paano yung mga parts. Para alam ng estudyante kung saan siya pupunta pag nagde-deliver ng isang, or pag nag-join siya ng isang online classroom or yung virtual environment natin. Okay? Now, in terms of class management tips, lalo na sa mga nag-start na mag-isip, paano ba i-manage yung classroom ko, di ba? So first, yun nga, sinabi ko, magkaroon kayo ng initial meet and greet. Okay? And then, in terms of students na mag-join, in terms of netiquette inside a virtual classroom, to ask students to mute themselves. Okay? And then at the same time, there's an option to turn off their cameras. Now, I'm not saying na kailangan naka-off yung camera nila. Actually, maganda nga minsan na naka-on. But sometimes, ang challenge mo naman is kakain siya ng bandwidth ng internet mo. Alam naman natin na hindi fair share ang internet natin dito sa Pinas. Pero at the same time, the good thing there is you can also find ways na ano yung mga kailangan mo na gawin. Diba? Para ma-augment mo na, bakit choppy, sir? Bakit hindi kita marinig yung audio mo? So ikaw, as a teacher, ang pwede mong gawin, okay, sige, i-turn off muna natin yung camera. So if I'm a teacher during the day, ang gagawin ko dyan, sa una, kamustahan, open the cameras. So kakamustahin ko kung sino may mga estudyante na gusto kong i-check. And then, during the discussion, that's the time na i-turn off yung camera. Okay? Para ma-avoid din yung discussion. Now, sir, paano yun? Kasi paano ko malalaman yung estudyante ko kung nakikinig or hindi? Diba? So, ang pwede mo gawin dyan, hindi mo talaga makokontrol yan, lalo na in a remote learning environment. But the good thing there is, ang gagawin mo in terms of managing class, huwag ka magdidire-diretso na mag-discuss. Have some brain breaks na tinatawag. Okay? So yung brain breaks, usually ginagawa mo yan, depende kung ano yung type of students that you have. Kung bata pa yan, most of the time, gawin mo lang every 15 minutes to check kung naintindihan mo nila, meron ba silang na-share, tapos you can use the chat box, etc. etc. Okay? Pero kung medyo mature na yung mga bata, pwede mong habaan na yung brain breaks. So parang naabot na siya ng 30 minutes to 45 minutes. Depende kung gaano katagal yung klase mo. Pero most of the time, best practice in an online environment or class management tips, usually mga 1 to 2 hours ang isang class. Okay? So kayo as teachers, kaya sinabi ko gumawa kayo ng mga groups. So sino for day 1, sino on day 2. Tapos ang gagawin nyo on that week, meron na lang tayo output-based. So make sure when you create your lessons, simplify it. Okay? Mahirap kasi in a remote learning environment, marami kang instructions at marami kang objectives na gagawin. Tapos at the end of the day, wala nakuha yung estudyante. So it's better that you simplify the things na kailangan mo ituro. Okay? So sinabi rin dyan na attention spans will be shorter if you were in face-to-face. Okay? Ito yung sinabi ko kanina, you create checkpoints or you pause to gauge the understanding. So every time na may isang topic ka or main topic na sinasabi, naintindihan ka or is it, nakikita nyo ba yung mga screen yan or yung pinapakita ko na demo? So pwede mong, in terms of engagement, lalo na yung mga bata, in terms of communication, they can use thumbs up, thumbs down, or use emojis. Diba? So yun yung kinaganda dun sa platform natin. Okay? So when you pause, make sure to check the understanding. Remind your students that they can unmute themselves to discuss and share insights. So the good thing here with the technology na meron tayo ngayon using Microsoft Teams, meron tayong feature called raise hand. Diba? Kung napansin nyo, if I go back here, meron siya ditong raise your hand. Okay? Ang kinaganda dyan, in facilitating your classroom environment, imbis na mag-unmute lahat ng mga estudyante at gusto mo i-call to attention yung mga nagtataas ng kamay ng mga estudyante o pag may mga questions, pwede mo ngayon i-address sila. Okay, so sabihin natin, nagtaas ng kamay si Ufer. Okay, so pag nagtaas ng kamay si Ufer, makikita ko dito sa screen ko na nagtaas siya. Okay, so I'm not sure lang kung actually pwede nyo i-test if you want, diba? So you can explore. Don't worry, we'll give you resources for this. Okay? Now, encourage your students to consider sitting at a table for your calls. So, again, dahil hindi natin nababantay yung mga bata, ang pwedeng mangyari dyan is minsan, nandun sila sa klase, tapos dun sa virtual environment, pwede sila nakahiga, nagbabasa, ganyan. Pero kasi, at the same time, you want to make sure yung development or yung gesture ng mga bata is nandun pa din. Kasi, may mga pros and cons na pag hawak mo yung laptop, tapos nakaupo ka, tapos wala ka sa table, nakaslouch ka, ang hirap dun is, yung health ng estudyante is co-compromise din. So better, best practice, bigyan nyo ng mga brain breaks at the same time, make sure na magkaroon, pag mahaba yung klase, okay, encourage them to stand up or stretch. Diba? Stretch. Bago ka mag-start ng klase, o stretch muna kayo, lalo na kung nanggaling sila sa isa pang klase. Diba? And then, pagtapos na yung klase, magstay ka for a while, and then that's the time sa mo end yung meeting. Okay? In terms of class management tips, these are some. I'm not saying ito na yung lahat na gawin mo. Marami pa dyan. Pero take a balance. Check mo kung ano yung mag-work. Okay? And then the good thing there is if you put this in place at meron ka mga policies, policies talaga or rules in terms of engagement or dun sa remote learning environment natin. Yung estudyante, behaviorally, na-implement din nila. Hindi man nila directly matutunan na okay, sinasabi mo na ganito. Pero yung psychologically, na-implement din dun sa behavior nila. Okay? Now, another good thing, lalo na sa case natin, since madami ngayon is yung pag-distribute ng mga devices, di ba? Marami ngayon, halos lahat may smartphones na, no? Even kahit minsan mga bata, may nakikita nga ako may smartphone. Kung wala silang laptop, don't worry. Why? Because there are mobile apps na pwede nyo i-download. And one good example is using Microsoft Teams. So kung wala silang laptop, pwede sila mag-connect using their smartphone. Now, another tip that I can share to you, make sure to add OneNote and other Office applications na pwede nila i-download. Okay? Pero kung meron man dalawang applications na gusto ko i-download ng mga teachers and mga students in a classroom setup, first is Microsoft Teams and the other one is OneNote. Okay? Kasi si OneNote, this is your digital notebook. Lahat ng mga manuals mo, pwede mong ilagay sa OneNote. Okay? So mamaya pakita natin yung OneNote. Now, kanina sinabi rin ni you that there are two types of lessons inside the remote learning environment. First is synchronous, the other one is asynchronous. So mamaya, I'll do a demo on how to do synchronous learning using Microsoft Teams and at the same time asynchronous. Okay? So gagawin mo lang dyan, i-enable mo lang yung camera and then at the same time, pag synchronous ka, ito yung kasama ng mga estudyante. Okay? And then you also have asynchronous pag gusto mo naman na pag minsan may mga meetings dyan na tatawagin ka. Okay? For example, si Ma'am Rose, tinawag ka to present. Tapos may klase ka. So best practice as a teacher, instead of letting them na parang to roam around, etc., you can actually do asynchronous style. Diba? Magkaroon ka ng blended learning style of teaching. So, ang gagawin mo dyan, i-record mo yung lesson mo, i-upload mo, and then the students can actually watch it. Okay? Pag pinanood nila, maglagay ka lang ng mga guide questions, you can include Microsoft Forms para in terms of checking and validating kung ano naintindihan nila, pwede mong gamitin yung assessment na yun. And at the same time, pwede ka rin gumawa ng summative assessment like using Flipgrid. Okay? So, instead of them typing kung ano yung natutunan nila, check po, mas maganda nakikita mo na nag-explain yung mga bata. So, Flipgrid is one of the best tool in education na pwede nyo gamitin para makuha mo yung student voice pagdating sa mga lessons nyo. So, it's like your TikTok. Okay? I think majority of you is parang familiar with TikTok. So may TikTok ka inside Microsoft platform and that's Flipgrid. Okay? And pwede mo integrate yan inside Microsoft Teams. Okay? Now, ano yung options mo in recording asynchronous lessons? So first, you can actually do Teams call just like what we're using right now. The other one is you can use camera app. Right? It's either in your computer, whether it's a Windows-based computer or a Mac OS, or if you have a Linux-based, most of the time may camera app yan. And as long as you have a a good, yung, for example, sa phone mo, pwede ka naman din mag-shoot ng videos, di ba? At the same time, since DepEd is one of the biggest user of Office 365, meron ka tinatawag na PowerPoint recorder. So, in terms of giving instructions, lalo na ang tinuturo mo is computer-based, okay, you can actually use PowerPoint recorder. Okay? And then, you can use the screen recorder, which I'll show you in a while, or screen recorder in stream. So, ang gagawin lang natin muna ngayon, I'll show you how to use Teams call, and then we will use the PowerPoint recorder. So, just to show you how to set it up. So, for example, nandito tayo sa Teams natin. I'll click here on the Teams. Okay. So, ang gagawin mo na lang is just create a new team. Okay. So, I'll just create a new team. Okay. So, I'm using my, this is my business. Gamitin natin yung DepEd. Ayan. So, if I click on join or create team, I'll select create a team, and then probably I'll use class. Okay. Name this, for example, Imus. One. Okay. So, for example, yan yung klase ko. So, pag nagawa na yung class mo, from here, tinanong mo for just a recap, you can include here students, and then you can include teachers as well. So, students, usually, pag okay na yung database natin, you just copy and paste, and then dito, teachers, yung mga colleagues mo inside the class, ilalagay mo lang. So, I'll put here Ufer na lang as teacher. Okay, I'll add Ufer as one of the teacher. And then sa students ko, I'll include Charles, and siguro si Jake, Clarissa Lim, and then after that, you just click on add. So automatic, pag ginawa mo yan, makakagawa ka na ng isang classroom or virtual classroom na meron ka ng Teams na Imus 101 at may general channel. So sabi ko nga kanina, best practice, ang suggestion ko pagdating sa creating ng channel, you create a channel based on subject. So for example, may math tayo dito. I'll click on add. Okay. And then if I want to add another channel, for example, science, I'll click on add. Now, madalas ang sinasabi nila, sir, paano yung groupings? Di ba? Paano yun? Para hindi sila makopyaan pag kunyari nag-grouping sila in terms of collaboration. Ikaw, as a teacher, gagawin mo, gawa ka ng panibagong channel, and then instead of using the standard channel, ang gagawin mo, for example, group 1, gawa ka ng private channel. And then from here, kung sino man yung mga students ng part ng science na group 1, itatype mo na lang dito as a teacher. So for example, I'll put here si Charles, and then I'll add also Claire. Okay? And then I'll click add. So technically, may access lang dito sa science na channel or yung group 1 na channel, pag nakalock yan, si Charles lang, si teacher, at si Cla lang or si Clarissa yung may access dito. Okay? Now, how do you set up a call? Or how do you set up a meeting? So here, there are two ways. You can click onto the calendar and then create a new meeting. But at the same time, okay, you can do Teams. Okay? Punta ka doon sa channel, for example, math teacher ka. You can click here on Meet Now, and then allow microphone or use camera. So, hindi ko gagawin kasi baka ma-disconnect ako dito. And then if I click on allow, automatic pwede ako makapag-join. Okay? Pwede ka na mag-set ng meeting. Okay? So, I'll stop there. Okay. Go back to Microsoft Teams. So what else? How about in PowerPoint? Okay, so sa PowerPoint, ganito lang po yan. If you're using a PowerPoint presentation, which most of the time, lahat ng mga manuals natin, nilalagay natin, or presentations natin, nandiyan. Ang gagawin nyo lang po, if you have Office 365 installed into your computer, you just click on File, Options, dito sa lower left screen. Hintayin mo mag-appear yung dialog box. Okay, so pwede na naman dito. Click on the drop-down arrow and then click on More Commands. Just wait. Hindi pa siya nag-appear sa akin. Ulitin natin. File. Options. Okay. So I'm not sure what's happening to my computer, but dito pangyari dyan. If you click on file and then options, or from here, you click on more commands, lalabas yung dialog box. And then from that dialog box, ang gagawin nyo lang po is to look for the tab called recording. Okay? So once na-enable mo na yung recording na tab, lahat ng mga kailangan mo in terms of recording your screen and recording your presentation, nandito na po yung gagamitin niyo. Okay? So how does it work? So for example, I'm a teacher. Let's say wala pa akong class, ay wala pa akong presentation. Another tip that I can share to you quickly is to use this feature. So if I click on new, quick starter, let's say I am a Araling Panlipunan teacher. I'll type here, Jose Rizal. Okay. So using the internet, so automatic, nandyan, i-download nyo yung mga pwede niya makuha sa internet, and then I'll just click on Jose Rizal on the first topic, and then I'll check kung ano yung mga gusto kong starter or outline ng slides ko. So pwedeng piliin ko yung early life, education, yes. Tanggalin ko na yung personal life, in Brussels, the term, execution, probably yung works niya. Okay, legacy, remembrance, result, popular culture, and co. Okay, kung ayan na yung mga gusto ko na outline in my presentation, I'll just click on next. Okay, you just wait for it to load, and then mamimili ka na lang kung anong template. So best practice, don't use black and white. Okay, lalo na in a remote learning environment. Some students, masakit sa mata ang black and white. Okay, lalo na kung visual sila. So you just choose something that is safe. So for example, this one. Madalas naglalagay ako ng dark para yung contrast mas maganda sa mata. Okay, so once you click create, automatic, your PowerPoint will create a template and an outline for your slides. So from 0 slides, makakagawa ka na ng mga slides or outline in terms of delivering your topic. And the students can actually use this as well, lalo na pag gumagawa sila ng mga projects nila. Diba? So may outline, and then nandito yung mga, actually meron pa dyan mga notes, diba? So nandiyan kung ano yung mga related topics. Ito na yung main presentation niya. Sometimes may mga pictures. Ayan, nandito yung mga works and writings. The students now, instead of isipin nila paano ko sisimulan yung presentation ko or delivery ko, I can always check the notes pane na pwede kong hanapin yung mga novels about poetry, yung plays na ginawa ni Jose Rizal, blah, 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 okay, etc., and even quotes. Okay? Now, if you're done, if may mga kailangan kang ipakita na presentation or screen recording, under ng recording tab mo, you can actually click here, screen recording. So some nahirapan, nag-download pa ng software, and sometimes they buy the software. Pero since naka-Office 365 naman si DepEd, you can actually use this. Okay, so you can include audio. If habang nag-navigate kayo sa screen nyo, you can turn it off if kung kailangan mo na pakita yung steps. Better if you're using your cursor para masundan ng mga estudyante, you record the pointer. And then from there, ang gagawin nyo lang is i-record nyo. Okay, so hindi ko lang magagawa because I'm using the screen. You can explore about it, you can check. Once you click on record, automatic, mag-record na yung screen. Tapos i-select mo lang yung area, and then pwede ka na mag-click sa Windows mo or dun sa desktop mo. Okay? Pag na-record na siya, automatic, ma-insert na siya dito sa PowerPoint mo, and then that's the time you can actually save it or export it as a video or publish stream. The reason why you want to export the video in the scenario na ikaw sa teacher, pansin mo may estudyante talaga na hindi talaga makakonect sa internet for the whole school year. Ikaw sa teacher, pwede mo na ihanda yan. Actually, ang kinaganda dyan, one time this time mo lang gagawin. Sa ngayon, dahil first time mo siya gagawin, kung first time mo, record mo lang muna ngayon para in the next school year, kung may, if ever, ma-invite ka to do presentation in other schools, etc., at may iwanan mo yung estudyante mo sa class, you can actually give them this option na video papanoorin nila. And then the time na since meron na kayong virtual classroom or blended learning style, magko-converse na lang kayo through chat. Diba? So ano yung mga natutunan nyo or use flip at the same time. Okay? So those are the things na pwede nyo gawin inside a remote learning environment using your Office 365. Now, let me go back to my presentation slides. Now, make sure if you're delivering your slide, don't make it as perfect na gusto mo mangyari. Okay, lalo na kung first time yan. Kasi ang challenge mo, pag nag-end ka na naman, pag natapos yung videos mo, napansin ka na palang may mali. Kasi i-end mo na naman, uulitin mo na naman. So in terms of productivity, I know for a fact that teachers, sobrang dami ginagawa. They report to a lot of organizations, di ba? Nag-report in terms of health, sa DOH, etc., etc. So rather than make it perfect, you record the audio, and then yung editing mo, make sure pag nag-play ka ng audio, i-post mo. Para you make a script muna, you make an outline, so that hindi ka nangangapa. So in terms of creating outline, at least one bullet point, i-demo mo lang, and then you stop. Okay? And then check the next one, and then create another video. So wag mo igagawin na one time, full time, na nandun na lahat. So what you're doing actually is you're creating a bite-sized learning for each topic. So that in terms of delivery at makita ng mga estudyante ano yung kailangan matutunan, meron na silang outline din. Okay? Kailangan ko pala matutunan itong basic input-output, or input muna, input devices, pag computer application tinuturo ko. Tapos may output devices, may examples. So yun yung pinaka-outline mo. And you're actually helping the students to understand the context or yung learning objectives na gagawin mo dun sa topic mo. And then, you have the option to stream it for Office 365. The good thing with Stream, there's actually an app there. If I'm the student or if you're the teacher na natuturo ng Microsoft Teams, ang mangyayari dyan is download ng estudyante yung Microsoft Teams Mobile, and then they have the option to download the video. Okay? Or, kung maganda naman yung internet nila, you can actually add your Stream channel to Attab in Teams. Okay? So to do that, again, going back to your Teams, click onto the plus sign, and then look for the option na Stream. Okay? So you just wait for it to load, and then look for Stream. Ayan. Ito lang yung gagamitin nyo. So you can actually include other resources, other tabs na pwede nyo gamitin. Okay? So next, another best practice na gagawin nyo in a virtual space environment is you create virtual office hours. Some students, di ba, papansin nyo, di ba, may mga students na tapos na yung klase, pero they see to it na mag-check din also, pupunta sa room nyo, and then, sir, kamusta ka, ganyan, tapos may mga concerns sila sa project. You can actually create virtual office hours. So, most of the time, ginagawa dyan, in creating a virtual office hours, mag-aalat ka lang ng free time mo. Okay? Para ma-manage mo. Kasi, if you're gonna create a virtual office hours for the whole afternoon or the whole morning, baka mabombard ka sa lahat na pupunta ng mga estudyante. So, mag-alat ka lang ng oras. So, in terms of using Teams, going back to my calendar, okay? Create a new meeting. Now, there is this option na does not repeat. So, papalitan nyo lang yan. Tuwing kailan ba kayo mag-meet, you can actually create it on a daily basis. Ito yung office hours mo na pwede ka nila puntahan, or weekly, or monthly, or yearly. So, most of the time, virtual hours, and just check, you can use Monday to Friday, or you can customize. Tuwing kailan lang ba? Ang check lang sa akin is Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Every 1 week. And then hanggang kailan yan? Okay. So, kunyari, first grading mo hanggang, sabihin natin, hanggang August 31, which is start pa lang halos ng class, di ba? In this scenario. So, if you click on save, rather than creating the invite one by one, you just use recording na lang. So, if I type here, office hours, or consultation. Okay? Once you click save, then automatic, simula ngayon, for next week, so if I click on next week, ayan, hindi mo na gagawin siya one by one. If I go on probably on July, ganun din makikita ko. So in terms of saving time and productivity, ito yung best practice na may share ko sa inyo. Now, in terms of gauging understanding ng mga students, so don't put muna agad na may formative ka tapos may summative assessment ka. So again, ang first few things na kailangan mo gawin, i-orient mo muna sila sa tool, sa technology na gagamitin yung in the classroom. You use formative assessments muna, like using Microsoft Forms, or quick polls using dun sa post, or probably yung mga assignments using Microsoft OneNote or in Word. Or probably during the discussion na synchronous learning, discussion questions in the Teams call. Yun yung formative assessment mo. Now, saka pag confident na yung students mo at napapansin mo na okay na sila to move to the next level, you go to the summative assessment. Okay? Wherein, pwede na nilang i-record yung mga understanding nila, yung concept. Okay? They can answer na yung mga short answers sa... Actually, ang kinaganda, if you're gonna do a virtual classroom, minsan, pag magtatanong yung isang bata or isang estudyante dun sa classroom mo, let's say, science teacher ka and you're talking about chemistry. Nagtanong siya, ano yung compound? Minsan, mapapansin ito in social media, behavior siya. Ikaw, as a teacher, syempre, ikaw gusto mo sagutin yun. Pero not all the time, you as a teacher is available. So, what happens in a virtual classroom, in an environment like that, ang kinaganda sa kanya is the other students in the class can answer that question. So from there pala, nagkakaroon ka na ng community of students na nag-a-adapt, na tumutulong dun sa community of learning at pinibigyan mo sila responsibility na free yung environment. I mean, pwede sila mag-answer if yung tanong na bata is about compounds and then mali yung sagot ng bata. Ikaw as a teacher, you acknowledge. You acknowledge yung estudyante kahit mali. Sabihin mo lang na good job in terms of answering this. This is actually the compound. Okay? But keep it up. So, magkaroon tayo ng positive reinforcement for your students so that in the long run, kahit may mga questions pa, talaga magsasagot yung mga questions na yun. And doon makikita mo kung naintindihan ba nila yung topic. And less trabaho din yan for teachers. Diba? Ikaw, makikita mo na yung mga behavior nila. Minsan kasi sa mga recitation, di ba, hindi mo makikita yan. Magsasabihan na sila, well, kasi yan. So at least ikaw, makikita mo, naka-document in a virtual classroom environment, sila nakikita nila yung mga chat. Okay? Now, again, another good tool na pwedeng explore, which we don't have time to discuss, you can actually look for Flipgrid. Again, it's like TikTok, pero this is for the environment for education. Kasi pag kunyari may mga concepts ka na tinuturo and then you ask questions, so the students can actually tell them about it. Okay? Explore or probably pwede nila pakita using their phones, di ba? And then nag-explain sila about a certain topic. And then from there, you can assess kung okay ba yung understanding ng mga students. Okay? So don't put everything in one blow. Take one step at a time. Huwag mo gawin agad lahat ng features or different applications. Test mo muna. Okay? Baka kasi ma-overload din yung mga estudyante. Until such time na eventually, second nature na lang sa kanila na mag-isip na, part na yan ng namin, ng system sa DNA na namin in terms of virtual classroom environment. Okay. So one cool feature in Microsoft Teams that you can do as a teacher is you can actually create assignments. Okay? And let's check if we still have time. Let me know, Sir June. There's actually a feature in Teams called rubrics. So instead na maging bias ka on checking the works of your student, meron kang rubrics na pwedeng sundan. Okay, so I'll try to fast forward para may oras tayo to demo assignment. Okay? Now, in terms of way of working, ito yung sinabi ko kanina, you have the time to learn the new tool. So introduce, kunyari first week, ito muna, the next week, ito. So you plan ahead. And then check kung ano yung mga understanding, ano yung mga challenges, and then you innovate. Para on the next school year or the next week, alam mo kung may gagawin mo. So, again, in terms of learning in a new classroom environment, diba? In a virtual environment, tensions will be high. So again, sabi ko nga sa inyo, mako-frustrate because of their internet is slow, or probably wala. Pero ikaw as a teacher, you can manage that. So, ito, one tip that I can share to you. I know for a fact na kailangan natin na talagang no learners, diba, na dapat no learners is we fell behind, parang ganyan. So parang ganyan yung concept. So ikaw sa teacher, in a virtual learning environment, since this is the first time, Again, sabi ko, don't take na parang perfect yung classroom mo in a virtual setup. Kung sino makaka-connect, you focus on that, gawin mo pa rin, i-deliver mo. Since naplano mo naman siya beforehand na may mga use cases ka na, pag may mga low bandwidth, tsaka student na wala talaga, meron ka mga backup. So that's the time na saka mo pupuntahan yung mga ibang estudyante. Okay? So ganun mo siya ititake. Rather than pina-perfect mo siya, tapos natapos na yung buong school year na wala kayo nagawa. So we should move on and look for ways na paano natin ma-improve yung classroom environment natin. Okay? Now, ayan, so every week, so pwede kayo magkaroon ng celebrating small wins na okay, good job. Nakita ko na paano yung ginagamit yung tools. Encourage your students. They would love that. Okay? So it's a positive reinforcement na ginagamit din in industry. Diba? Okay? So just to show you how it looks like, how to create an assignment, I'll go back to my Teams. Okay? And then I'll go to my General tab and click on Assignments. Okay? So mamaya I'll show you the class notebook. You know what? Okay, so I'll click on Get Started. So if I want to create an assignment, I can click on Create. Okay, pwede ka rin gumawa ng quiz for assessment, di ba? Natin. So another assessment is assignment. So there you go. So for example, since this is Imus 101, pwedeng history siya, di ba? So museo. So for example, there's a museum inside Imus. I haven't been parang to a museum in Imus, but let's say for example, may museum ka dito. And then you can add categories. Lahat ng instructions mo, put it there para hindi malito ang mga estudyante. And then you can actually upload a sample file or other resources that they can check. Points. Ayan. So pwede ka maglagay ilang points na ibibigay mo for this assignment. And then look at this. So meron ding feature called Add Rubric. So if you click on Add Rubric, pwede kang pumili kung meron ka ng existing na rubric. Or kung wala pa, you can upload a rubric if you want. Diba? So kailangan lang na naka-CSV format yung Excel file nyo na nakatabulate para mas madali siya. Now, kung wala pa, you just click on New Rubric and then you will have this screen and then you type, for example, nag-represent sila about the museum. So, presentation of topic. Mo siya i-grade. So, lalagyan mo na yung description, lalagyan mo ba ng points? Yes. Diba? So, let's say, for example, ang criteria mo in grading, let's say, well, let's put presentation slides. And ano yung criteria mo pag excellent? Pag images, you have videos, you have good contrast, diba, ng PowerPoint presentation, and then you just fill up yung sa good, sa fair, or sa poor, or you can add more or you can delete. Okay, so kung tatlo na naman yung 3x3 yung polls, why not? You can add more criteria. So for example, presentation, verbal presentation. Okay, so articulate the concept well. Yeah, etc. etc. Okay, tapos you can evenly distribute yung weights, pero kung sa tingin mo mas mataas ang presentation style, you can change. Okay, now let's say I'm done with this. I'll just click on, click on attach. And then automatic, nandiyan na yung rubrics mo, ang gagawin mo na lang is to assign, pwedeng to all students in this team, or kung merong mga projects na kunyari si Clarissa din, hindi niya na gawa yung context, di ba? Or yung assignment niya. Pwede ka magpa-project sa kanya na gawin niya dito. So, pwedeng kay clap lang ang ilalagay ko. And then, click on assign. So, what happens here is, if I assign this to my student si clap, ang gagawin na lang niya is, ipapass niya yung assignment. Okay? So, if I click on that, ayan, there you go. Let's edit the assignment. Hindi ko lang napakita, pero you have the start date and due date. And then you can also allow late turn ins if you want to. Okay, so, cancel. So from here, kung hindi pa na-turn in yung student, ano ba yung tsura niya pag student view, pag na-receive yung assignment? Ganito po. Nandyan. Makikita niya, nandito yung instructions, nandito yung gawa niya. Pwede sila mag-attach ng file. Presentation of topics. Ayan. Ikaw as a teacher, pwede mo i-click kung ano lang yung grade. So ikaw, si student, para mapataas niya yung grade niya, pwede niya i-check kung ano yung rubric, paano mo ginigrade ang estudyante. So may visibility. Okay? Rather than, ay, bakit ganun? Siguro favorite ng teacher yan. So dito, naiwasan yung mga bias systems. Di ba? So meron ka na ngayon na ganitong feature inside Microsoft Teams, lalo na for education. Again, this is available for the education. And then, pag nag-submit sila, you can enter comments, and then at the end of the day, pag nagawa na nila yan, yung grades nila mapupunta dito. Lahat ng students. Okay? So, nandiyan. So, you see you can grade, you can check if you want to, etc. etc. Okay? And may shortcut sila dito to check all the assignments na meron sila sa classroom. Ayan, nandito lahat. Okay? Now, going back to Teams. I still have 1 minute. Don't worry. Last na rin naman to. I'll go back to Teams. Class notebook is very important, lalo na you're creating a digital handout. Okay, you just set up a OneNote class notebook. Kung wala pa, you click on the blank document. So notice here you have different spaces na tinatawag. You have the collaboration space. So I'll zoom in para makita nyo. The collaboration space, this is open for all, that the teacher and student can edit. Okay, so there's a page na pwede sila magsulat, pwede sila mag-type, diba? Pwede nila gawin yan. So collaboration space. So you're promoting it. And that's part of the 21st century school na tinuturo natin sa mga estudyante. And we also have the content library. So the content library, these are your course materials, these are your handouts, wherein you as a teacher can edit the content, but the student can only view. Okay? So ayan yung pinaganda sa kanya. At nina-house mo lang siya in one app. Okay? In OneNote siya. And then lastly is you have the student notebooks. So yung student notebooks, magkakaroon sila ng private space na notebook nila. Di ba dati nagpapasa ka tayo ng mga notebooks natin sa teachers, tapos sinasabit natin dito, kaka-house na lang siya sa OneNote. And then, if they're part of a subject, di ba, nandun na lahat yung mga student notes at doon na sila masusulat ng mga content nila. Okay, so ano ba itsura niyan? So let me zoom out. Click on next. Okay, so the student private space, pwede mo piliin kung ano yung mga default sections niya. So imagine your OneNote is like a binder. Okay, so you can remove quizzes if you want, homework classes, etc. etc. Pwede ka magdagdag if you want. And then after that, you just create. So let the application do the things for you. Wala ka naisipin. Pwede ka magdagdag ng papel, habang naghihintay. Pero once done, okay, let's check. Okay, let's say, punta muna ulit sa math, click on general. I'll go back to class notebook. So a few minutes lang yan. Actually, minsan a few seconds lang. So, na yung class notebook. An overview how to use the class notebook. Okay? And then, lahat ng options mo, like yung home, insert, draw, you can open it in a browser. Lahat ng pages mo nandun yung collaboration space where all teachers and students can collaborate, edit this content. They can add a page for each topic. For example, this is math. Dito na sila maglalagay yung mga computations nila. You can also use content library, lahat ng mga notes mo, lahat ng handouts, ilalagay mo dito. And notice, ikaw as a teacher, ito yung makikita mo. You have the individual notebooks of all of your students na naka-house na lang in one application. So makikita mo kung ano yung nilalagay nila sa notes nila, handouts, homework, nandito rin yung kay Charles. Pero sa view ng student, ang makikita lang nila is the collaboration space, the content library, and their personal notebook. Okay? So yun kinaganda sa kanya. And probably the last thing that pwede ko i-share sa inyo in terms of using the class notebook is involving the parents. Lalo na ngayon, kailangan ng patnubay ng magulang. Lalo na in this scenario na meron tayo. So you can actually share this notebook to the parents. And pipiliin mo lang kung ano yung notebook. Siyempre, kung sa anak lang nila yung pipiliin, yun lang yung share mo. Okay? You can generate those and then share it to the parents so that they would know tapos ano ba ginagawa nyo sa virtual environment na yan. Okay? So yun yung mga tips na pwede kong i-share sa inyo. So technically, yun din yung part ng Microsoft OneNote Classroom. Okay? Now, in terms of next steps, you just explore na-discuss naman natin yung mga grades, yung OneNote class notebook, di ba? Do interactivity, you create small groups, assign Kahoot, you can integrate Kahoot inside Microsoft Teams. Okay? Check your deck. Okay? So, or pair deck, so pwede nyo gamitin yan. It's an add-in tool in PowerPoint. And you probably another thing na pwede nyo include dun sa Teams is to promote fun. So, meron kang isang space in your channel. Here, instead, di ba, ito yung math, ito yung science, para makapag-collaborate sila, mag-usap sila naturally, just like in a classroom, maglagay ka ng isang channel to promote fun. So I'll just add channel, fun conversation. You can add emojis, so shortcut for emojis, Windows period. Okay, so maglagay ka ng emojis. So it's a hidden trick na hindi nagagawa na lahat. Okay, so pwede nyo gawin para alam nila na pag fun, okay, dito kayo pupunta, dito sila magko-collaborate, dyan sila mag-uusap. Okay? So, I think that's it. So, in terms of closing, so make sure, again, sabi ko nga sa inyo, explore, test, don't make things perfect at the first time. Yes, your aim is to have that seamless experience, but again, let's expect na hindi ganon. Okay? Pero, as much as possible, you create different ways of engaging with your students, whether they have a seamless internet connection, a low bandwidth internet connection, and talagang walang internet at all. Okay? So, kasi si OneDrive and si OneNote, once they have the app, okay, pwede nilang i-view naman yung notes nila offline. Yun yung kinaganda sa kanya, kaya yun yung ina-advise ko. Okay? Now, in terms of getting the certificate during this session that we have. So you can redeem the code. So take a screenshot, copy this, and then go to MEC. So I'll show you the steps how to redeem it. Complete the survey, take a screenshot then. We will chat it then also din sa stream natin ngayon, sa Teams. Also, to get to know more about updates on Microsoft Office, Teams, etc., on remote learning sessions, tips, diba? You can actually like us in Facebook, that's fb.com/line, line.lnd, or email us at learn@line-lnd.com. Okay? So, with that, thank you. So, ganito lang po yung steps. Take a screenshot of this para ma-redeem nyo yung certificate nyo. First, you just go to Microsoft Educator Center. Okay? And then once you create an account, okay, you go to your profile. So, nandiyan yung step 1. Pag-click mo ng profile, you just redeem the code. You remember the code na sinare ko kanina, which is this. Okay? Ito. I-copy nyo lang yan. And then once you redeem the code, automatic, makukuha mo yung badge and points. And then once you get the badge and points, you also have the certificate. The certificate is signed by the Worldwide Education in Microsoft, Anthony Salcito. So, yun yung pinaganda sa kanya. Okay? So, you can also find kung paano yung pag-redeem ng steps. You can go to our YouTube. That's bit.ly/line. That's capital L, small letter I-N-E, capital L-N-D. Okay? So, with that, thank you so much. Okay? And I hope you have a lot of na natutunan nyo during our session from UFER, from us. Maybe let's open the floor if we still have time for questions. Okay? So thank you.
Okay. Sir Erwin,
Yes po.
mayroong isang nag-message.
May isa nag-message. Okay, sige po.
Pakibalik daw yung slide na screenshot.
Masyado ba mabilis? Sige sir, babalik ko po. Okay, so ito po yung screen. Ayan. So for other resources, pwede nyo puntahan to, and then ito yung code na gagamitin nyo. Okay, so take a screenshot. Sir Jude, meron bang or yung mga questions po ba from the feed or we're good?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Tama, sir.
So I think we're good. So with that, thank you so much, everyone.
Okay.
Keep in touch.
Okay. Maraming salamat, Sir Erwin.
Tanong?
Sige po. Pwede naman.
Yes.
Pwede naman.
Sir Dab, baka may mga tanong tayo dyan.
Okay. So, maraming salamat, Sir Erwin, sa iyong binigay na lecture sa amin. At bago tayo magtapos, we would like to inform everybody na patuloy po tayong sumubaybay sa YouTube account and sa ating Facebook page. So, para po sa ating mga future videos and announcements. Ang account name po ng YouTube and Facebook accounts is DepEd Tayo Imus City. Okay.
Okay.
Nakalagay
So, wala ba tayong mga tanong?
Parang wala naman niya. Meron po ba? Sige. I'll stop sharing na para we can focus on that.
Yes. Dito yata sa ating teams, mayroong mga tanong, Sir Erwin?
Okay, so may tanong si Sir Dennis. Sir, ask ko lang po, yung pag-redeem ng code, applicable pa po ba until this full month of June? Para just in case po ma-share din po namin to our teachers for school-based training. Okay, so we will open it. Actually, we allotted 1,500 the code. So, it's a first come, first serve basis. So, pag mag-redeem kayo, kung pag na-fulfill na natin 1,500, magkakat na po siya doon. Okay, pero hindi namin i-end yung code. Okay?
Ano lang? Hindi niya nakakaharap yun.
Any questions pa po regarding dun sa remote learning session? Walang ano man, Sir Dennis?
Kumbaga, para safe din kasi sila.
Sa ating
Siyempre, hindi mo rin
Sir
masabi.
Dennis, Sir Bob.
Lalo na yun, within the company, meron, di ba? Hindi mo masabi kasi na pwedeng kung sino ang nakahawa. Tsaka pwede mo kasi sabihin hindi mo nakaharap.
Wala naman tayo masyadong mga questions. No? Yung iba naman dito, nagpapasalamat sa mga nagsalita na speakers natin. Kasi nga, informative nga daw. No?
Pero parang malabo naman.
At marami silang natutunan.
Diba? Yun ang pinakamahalaga doon.
Guys, maraming salamat po.
Ano tayo?
Nakakatawa ng puso.
Ano niya
Kailan
lang.
May
Hindi na siya.
May nag-uusap eh.
Tama, Sir Dennis. So don't worry, we will give you, siguro after this, no, we will share you some of the handouts na pwedeng gamitin nyo, Sir Jun. Kasi baka ngayon, na-overwhelm kayo, dami pala teacher, kailangan kong malaman lahat. So don't worry, bibigyan namin kayo ng tools, ginawa ni Microsoft yan, that you can use for all the teachers para marun through kayo on using it.
Good.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Sir Erwin.
Yes po.
Kapag nakompleto ba namin ang aming O365 account, pwede ba namin kayong i-invite for a more comprehensive discussion of Office 365?
Sir, Sir Jun, basta free yung schedule ko. Why not? I am very willing to share my expertise, my knowledge. Again, I'm a product of a public school. It's something that I can give back to my teachers. Probably, baka nandyan sila, nanonood, di ba? Para mabigay ko naman yung expertise. And it is a God-given gift din naman na to share. It is a privilege na ma-share natin yung karunungan. Just like Parable of Talents, di ba?
Yes. Okay. Sir Bob, ano ba bang mga wala bang mga tanong?
Wala na. Papasalamat lang. Pa-remind ko lang pala, para sa mga hindi nakakasunod sa ating streamed videos, ay pumunta lang sa YouTube and Facebook page natin, DepEd Tayo Imus City. So from day 1 hanggang day 5, mapapanood po ninyo doon. No? Sabi nga sa amin nung mga batang 90s, rewind. Pwede yung i-rewind. Pwede i-forward. Para mas maintindihan nyo lalo.
Baka yung rewind nyo, Sir Bob, ito pa yung may sasakyan na recorder. No?
Hindi,
Exactly,
baka
sir.
gamitan pa ng baka gamitan pa ng lapis o ballpen sa cassette tape.
Okay, Sir Bob.
Okay, maraming salamat, Sir
Sir
Erin.
Erwin,
Maraming salamat.
in behalf of DepEd Imus City, maraming salamat po sa inyo with Sir Ufer sa pagpapaunlak.
Maraming salamat po. Keep in touch po. Sige
Sana po hindi kayo madala kasi sir, strict pa lang po ito ng DepEd Imus City.
Sige po, basta again, if available kami, why not? Pwede naman namin mapaunlak yung inyong kahilingan. Sige po. Maraming salamat po.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Salamat po. God bless. Bye-bye.
Okay, Sir Bob.
Yan na tayo. Alright. So, back to our regular programming para sa ating closing.
Sana hindi pa umalis yung ating mga teachers, ating mga viewers kasi may closing program tayo. Yes.
Sana nga. Hindi naman. Nandiyan lang. Para makita, para marinig nila din ang mensahe ng mga magsasalita ngayong closing.
Yes. So, siguro Sir Bob, i-prepare muna sila at tawagin po or sabihan ko na yung ating mga speaker or yung magbibigay ng ating mga messages.
Okay. Paalala lang po, may mga ano tayo no, may mga paalala yung mga speakers natin pagdating doon sa mga ano yung hahanapin no. Ano yung mga hahanapin, mga nire-require no ng ating mga speakers. Panoorin nyo lang doon sa mga natin sa mga videos no from day 1 to day 5 para maintindihan nyo. Doon naman sa mga nagtatanong ko ano yung mga isasabihin sa certificates, please do contact our SUS Division Office no para sa iba pang mga detalye and we will give you all of the information we need. Okay. Sir Jun.
Sir Jun po ay naikot pa.
Naikot pa. Sir Dance, marami ka bang natutunan ngayong araw na to?
Actually, sir, sobrang loaded tayo this week, no? Day 1 to day 5, sulit na sulit ang lahat, ang daming bonus.
At least,
by the way,
yes.
Do not forget pala sagutan po yung survey po na binigay po ng Sir Ufer and Sir Erwin po. Andun lang po sa may baba po sa may screen.
And reminder po ni Ma'am Riza, yung ating yun pong ating i-comply kasi yun po yung kapalit po nun ay certificate. Okay? So, kailangan po yung ating proposal. Alam po, next week dapat maipasa na para yung proposal doon sa ating division or rather school-based webinar. Yes. Oo. So, actually, Sir Bob, yung na-observe natin, parang, mga participants, information overload ba?
Pero kung ako
tatanungin mo, information overload ba?
Kung ako tatanungin mo, Sir Jun, hindi naman din eh. Kasi if you are sitting on your sofa sa bahay, you are sitting on your own comfortable place and receiving this information, hindi naman siguro overload. No? Actually, pwede mo nga balikan eh. Di tulad kapag ikaw ay nasa seminar mismo, yung face-to-face, no? Yung marami kayo, hindi siya no? Hindi mo siya mauulit. At least dito sa webinar, pwede mo siyang balikan, no? Pwede mo siya satisfied. Napakaganda talaga.
Oo. Sabi ni Sir Hernan, Sir Bob, sakto lang, sir. Ayan, no? Ayan, sakto lang, sir. Yan. Okay, paano yung mga participants na walang 365? Sige nga, sagutin natin yung mga tanong na yan, Sir Bob.
Actually,
Ano
sir,
pong matanong?
ako po,
Yan.
wala po akong Office 365 account. Ang ginawa ko po, gumawa po ako ng Outlook account. Tapos, ayun po yung ginagamit ko sa pag-redeem po ng mga certificate from Microsoft. Ayan po. Kasi
Ako
kahit
naman
kami po,
Ako naman naghihintay lang ako ng Office 365 kay Ma'am Helen Carion. Boss ko yan eh.
Siguro Sir Bob, pa-inform nga yung mga nasa Microsoft Teams natin na meeting, labas na po kayo, dito na po kayo, mag-live stream na kayo sa YouTube or Facebook Live.
Oo,
Kasi
balik na
meron tayong
kayo.
mga kasama na sa Microsoft Teams.
Opo,
Oo nga eh.
isa-isa na po
Yes,
sila
dito na
nag-leave po sa Microsoft Teams.
Yan. Dito na tayo, mag-live tayo. Sabi ni Ma'am Helen, grabe ka Sir Bob. Okay. Ngayon, masagot lang natin yung Sir Bob, no? Yung paano po yung, ito yung tanong eh, paano po yung mga participants sa walang Office 365 account, makakakuha po ba ng certificate from Microsoft? Ayan, sinagot ni Sir Dennis kanina, no, na gumawa ng Outlook, okay? Or Hotmail, pwede rin, kino-consider din, para ma-claim yung inyong certificate. Pero Ma'am Helen, ito po ha, bigyan mo po kami hanggang July para dun sa inyong Office 365 license. Okay? Para magamit rin naman yung O365 account. Maganda rin siya actually. Okay? May request na tayo dyan. Yan, may request na tayo dyan. Siguro inaantay na lang natin yung maibaba. Kasi ngayon, dear ICT coordinators, na-forward na ba natin yung ibang mga accounts natin? Dapat ma-test na yon, no? May testing na ng mga teachers natin. Kasi as of the moment, meron tayong nasa around 1,300 na account na Office 365. Okay? Yan.
Paano?
Sir Bob,
May mga... pa-shoutout daw kay Ma'am Laricel. Pa-shoutout po sa mga teachers ng Malagasang Elementary School at sa principal namin si Ma'am Christy Ben. No, salamat po DepEd Imus. Galing naman kay Ma'am Ann Tadiake. Sir Bob, pa-shoutout naman po ang boss ko sa Taplong Elementary School. So, sipag, hindi obligasyon, kundi dedikasyon. Sir Mesper, nasaan ka man? No? Nandito kami.
Nasaan ka man talaga? Sir Mesper, nasaan ka man?
Shoutout po sa eskwela.
Sir Bob, simulan na natin ang ating closing.
Yes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, kanina po ay nagbigay na ng mensahe ang ating Schools Division Superintendent, si Dr. Rosemary D. Torres. No? At ngayon naman, para po magbigay ng challenge para po sa ating mga teacher participants. Pero bago yan, we would like to start our closing program for our nationalistic song.
Man tayo ng bagong pagsubok, gurong Imus inyo'y di mapapagod. Magabot ng kamay na handang dumamay, gurong Imus inyo'y di mapapagod. Nasa puso ng DepEd Imus City, serbisyong di obligasyon, kundi dedikasyon. Isang DepEd, tayo'y aahon. We last one, bayanihan. Dahil sa Imus, importante ka. Sabay tayo sa bagong umaga. Ang pusong Imusenyo,
hangin ay aakay sa'yo, pangarap muling itatayo. Dasal at pagkakaisa, sandata natin dito. Isang DepEd, tayo'y aahon, we last one, bayanihan. Dahil sa Imus, importante ka, sabay tayo sa bagong umaga. Ang pusong Imusenyo, ganyan ang Imusenyo. Ang gurong Imusenyo. Suportado namin ang laban nyo, frontliners, salamat sa inyo.
A prayer for teachers. Giver of all wisdom and greatest of all teachers, look upon our teachers with love. Grant them the resolve to nurture our eager minds and to never give up on us who fall behind. Bless their hearts, for they rejoice when we succeed, and encourage us when we fail. Endow them with gentle patience, for the path of learning is never easy. Kindle a spirit of passion in them. It is the flame that ignites the love of learning in us. Help them see the potential in each student. Their belief in us means much more than the grade we make. Instill in them a commitment to keep on learning. It shows us to not fear new knowledge and experiences. Inspire them to touch the future. They influence how big a dream we dream for ourselves. Bless our teachers who have come before, for their work endures to this day. Let the light of your example shine upon all teachers, to build up with their words, to love with their mind, to share with their heart. Amen.
Oh, yan. So, welcome po uli. Dahil sabi ko nga kanina, no, dahil nakapagbigay na ng mensahe ang atin pong Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Rosemary D. Torres, ngayon man po ay magbibigay ng challenge para po sa atin at para po sa ating mga teacher participants ng ating pong webinar series. Ang ating pong Officer in Charge, Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Mr. Ivan Brian L. Inductivo.
Good afternoon, Sir Bob. Thank you for the introduction. Mabuhay po kayong lahat. Kamusta po kayo? At maraming salamat dahil binuno niyo po ang 5 araw na pagtsatsaga at pag-aaral at pagbubukas ng isip at paglilinang ng kakayahan para po sa ating educational technology na webinar. And in behalf of our Schools Division Superintendent, Ma'am Rosemary Torres, I would also like to commend the program management team led by our IT, June Benz, and the rest of the team. This is very much commendable. And at the same time, those who have participated religiously and eagerly on this 5-day series of educational technology, Connect. As I am assigned to posit a challenge for our advocates and Actually, that is the exact word I wanted to use, and I wanted to challenge you to be an advocate of educational technology. Everything that we have trained in these 5 days have equipped and made you ready in facing the challenges of technology in the education landscape. I hope you might utilize this in its maximized form, utilize this in improving the way we deliver education, maximize whatever learning you have had here in order to influence and inspire more of our learners. Be an advocate of the continuity of our education. This kind of training and capacity building upskilled and reskilled most of our teachers in facing different challenges on how we could remotely deliver education. And I hope this kind of this kind of practice could again inspire others and ripple to other learning leaders as well as teachers to use and to promote educational technology. So I urge everyone that technology will not again replace teachers, but will enhance whatever skills that you have, promote whatever propensity that you might manifest, and evidently flourish the kind of education we have. So please bear that in mind, that the 5 days training that you had will be translated in our classrooms, will be translated in our virtual classrooms. I would like to rephrase that. Translated in how we take care and educate our young. At the bottom of everything that we do, it's always for the welfare of our learners. That this effort will not ensue and will not again flourish if it will not be translated in the education of our learners. I urge you to look into this kind of landscape as a possibility and be optimistic that education can thrive, can flourish, and can succeed in the different modalities that we had. Education must continue, as our secretary had mentioned. And to all of you, I hope that you see the vitality of education, not just the formal classroom education, that the traditional face-to-face learning that we had, but in any form, in any modality that education could be delivered. It is a challenge for us right now, and we hope that we become beacons of education, beacons of continuity of learning, that the light that we possess could ripple across the entire country, that we become exemplars as well in delivering educational technology. To all the participants, the teachers, you, our dear teachers, are the first advocates of delivering education. Hold that noble vocation. Amidst the crisis that we're facing, despite the adversities that we are facing, I hope you stand still, you stand tall, and stand firm on our commitment, on our calling in promoting and inspiring the young of our future. Remember that if we give up education and we give up on our profession, we're not giving up on our own. We're giving up on the future of our nation. Lahat ng ginagawa po natin dito, sana kumintal sa ating isip at tumimo sa ating puso na para sa kapakanan ng ating mga kabataan. Malasakit at kalinga para sa ating kabataan. Tunay nga na lahat ng ginagawa natin ay hindi po obligasyon, kundi dedikasyon sa kanilang lahat. Muli, mabuhay po kayong lahat. At maraming salamat. God bless.
Maraming salamat po, Sir Ivan, sa iyong challenge sa ating mga kaguruan. Sana nga po ay mapaalalahanan din ang bawat isa na ang kanilang responsibilidad din tumulong din sa kapwa nila. Okay? So, para naman po sa impression ng ating pong webinar series na ito, ay tinatawag ko po ang Master Teacher 1 ng Governor Juanito Reyes Remulla Senior High School, Ma'am Janet J. N. Amboy.
This is it. We made it. Finally, we were able to complete this 5-day webinar. And we are proud to say that we are all pioneers to this first of a series of webinars. In behalf of the participants, allow me to thank and congratulate SDO Imus City, headed by our very vibrant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Rosemary Torres, our former Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Mr. Galileo Go, our new OIC Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Mr. Ivan Bryan Inductivo, and the entire program management team led by Sir Junes Benz Adelan. Thank you for spearheading this webinar for us teachers. I would also like to thank all the resource speakers who shared their valuable time and expertise for the success of this virtual symposium. Ms. Maina for Google Classroom, Ms. Camille for G Suite, Sir Roland, Ma'am Erliza, and Sir Michael for Microsoft and Office 365, Ma'am Jen for Cypher Learning and Neo Learning Management System, Sir Sherwin for Basic OER, Dr. Rosemary for creating an interactive ebook for us, Sir Vil for cybersecurity, Sir Francis for data privacy, Sir Ufer and Sir John Irwin for remote learning, and of course, our executive assistant for the head of the ICTS ETU, Mr. Mark Anthony C. We are in an age where the ability to reinvent ourselves as teachers is a growing concern. The pandemic that we are currently experiencing today drove us to redefine our roles as facilitators of learning outside the four walls of the classroom. We are constrained to do things that we have never imagined doing before because we are teachers and education must continue no matter what. We are committed to provide our learners the opportunity to succeed in this rapidly changing and complex world. My fellow teachers, today marks the advent of the real classroom of tomorrow. We all know that we were all caught unaware when this world crisis struck like a thief in the night. But as Filipino teachers, we are resilient. At this juncture, allow me to identify a few takeaways during this 5-day webinar. First, the new normal learner is creative, a critical thinker, is self-directed, and has a very powerful academic mindset. Second, the new normal learners think about problems in new ways, design their own solutions, and collaborate and communicate in multiple settings. Thus, teachers should consider taking the cue from their learners. Third, the new normal teacher is out of the box, does not resist change, maintains an open mind, collaborative, and has a very big heart. Fourth, pedagogical approaches in the new normal is a challenge to all of us, but we will survive this. For now, we are being asked to deviate from the traditional teaching and learning styles. At this point, we should begin to realize that the true measure of learning is not rote memorization, but the ability of students to apply what they know in the real world context. Fourth, we should embrace the concept of educational technology rather than technology in education, as what was emphasized by Sir Mark. We should support all our undertakings related to programs set forth by the OER or the Open Educational Resources. Fifth, we must tear down this wall. ICT coordinators and technology teachers are already a thing of the past. The walls that divide the ICT teachers and the non-ICT teachers have been removed. This webinar is living proof that even a 49-year-old teacher like myself, who is not techie, can do Google Classroom and create an interactive ebook using Kotabi. I even got badges and digital certificates. I do hope they can still be part of my RPMS MOVs. Six, we should sharpen the saw. According to Stephen Covey, the 7 habits of highly effective people, a continuous improvement should preserve and enhance the greatest asset, which is you, the teacher. As teachers, we should not be hesitant to try out and develop new things, utilizing our inherent potential, all for the best interest of the learner. Seventh, Leo Buscaglia, an American author, says that change is the end result of all true learning. We must remember that change is something we should embrace and not resist. The new normal is distance learning through printed modules, online and offline learning, instructional videos through radio and television. Let us learn to get the hang of it. 8. Culture of empowerment. As teachers, we are not only responsible to our learners, but to our co-teachers as well. Let us be instruments of empowering and capacitating them whichever way we can. Ninth, the culture of disconnect ceases to exist in the new normal. We are all part of one community, the global community, connected either physically or virtually. As the millennials say, hashtag connect the disconnect. 10th, no Filipino child left behind policy is to be modified. After this webinar, we are committed and declare that no Filipino teacher will also be left behind. Let me end with this thought. Sometimes our lives have to be completely shaken up, changed, and rearranged to relocate us to the place we are meant to be. Again, thank you, SDOIC, for this initiative, and congratulations to all of us for a job well done. A blessed afternoon. God bless everyone. Mabuhay ang Imosenyo learner. As Sir June Benz puts it, ECU.
Maraming salamat, Ma'am Janet, para po sa impression na iyong binigay para sa ating mga kapwa-guro sa ating DepEd Imus City. At para naman sa response, no, ng ating challenge, ang president po ng SDOIC ICT Core Team, no, wala pong iba kundi si Sir Gerson L. Torres. Sir Gerson?
Yun po. Thank you, Sir Bob. So, at first, I would like to thank the School Division of Imo City, kay Dr. Rosemary Torres, our SDS, kay Sir Ivan Brian Indoctivo, ASDS, kay Sir June Ben Sadelan, sa ICT Core Team and TWGs, and to all ICT coordinators. So, sa loob ng 5 araw na webinar natin ay marami tayong natutunan. Mga bagong applications, softwares, and other resources na magagamit natin. So, this school year, nawala mo ng face-to-face learning due to COVID-19 pandemic. Pero hindi nito mapipigilan ang pagkatuto ng mga kabataan. because meron na tayong distance learning and dedicated teachers. Kaya in behalf of all the participants, we are accepting the challenge. Sabi nga ni Ma'am Rose, dedikasyon, hindi obligasyon. Dedikasyon para sa dekalidad na edukasyon. So muli, maraming salamat. God bless sa ating lahat.
Maraming salamat. Maraming salamat, Sir Gerson. At para naman po sa pagsasara ng ating pong 5-day webinar series po, ng DepEd Online ICT Training Series for Teachers, ay pangungunahan po tayo ng ating pong OIC CID Chief, Dr. Glenda D.S. Catadman. Ma'am Glenda.
Hello, good afternoon. Merong emergency meeting lang si Ma'am, and our Ma'am Glenda is already a full-fledged Chief Education Supervisor. Kaya siya po ay hindi na OIC. Okay. To all the participants, in behalf of the top management headed by Ma'am Rose and of course Sir Ivan, our new ASDS, our Chief in the CID, Ma'am Glenda, and our OIC SGOD Chief, Sir Ivan, and all the people of the division office, and of course, our program owner, headed by Sir Jude Benz. Thank you so much sa lahat ng umattend, and the division office is counting on you. Sana lahat na natutunan sa webinar na ito ay atin pong gamitin dahil ito'y para po sa kapakanan ng lahat ng mag-aaral ng Imus City. And sa dulo po, ang pakikapakinabangan na ito ay para po sa atin lahat bilang mamamayan ng Imus. So, ingatan po tayo ng Panginoon na samahan sa ating pakikibaka dito sa new normal. May everyone be safe and may we all be serving for the glory of our Lord. Thank you so much and God bless.
Maraming salamat po, ma'am. Yan. At dito po nagtatapos ang ating 5-day webinar series. Sir June.
Sir Dennis pa. Sir, alam ko yung mga ay nag-enjoy na. Maraming pa shout out actually. Kaya basahin na natin ang basahin yan. Pero bago basahin, Sir Bob and Sir Dennis, ano ba ang ating, saan nila pwedeng balikan yung ating mga video presentation?
Para po sa sige Sir Des, ikaw naman ang ikaw naman yung mag-promote.
Feeling DJ. Okay po, makikita po natin ang ating pong webinar series replay videos sa ating pong FB page, DepEd Tayo Imus City. Together with the YouTube channel po na ating DepEd Tayo Imus City rin po. Ayan, Sir Bob.
Okay.
Ayun.
At Sir Bob,
nagtatanong pala sila, Sir June, nagtatanong pala sila kung saan daw po isasubmit yung mga pinapagawa sa ating mga ICT teachers natin after this.
Okay. Sige, ganito na lang, no. Para mas madali, no. Ang magsasubmit na lang ng mga output nila ay yung summary ng output ay ilalagay na lang sa team drive ng ICT coordinators. Again, ICT coordinators ang hahawak ng file kasi meron na kaming existing drive, Sir Bob. Gagawa na lang ako doon sa folder, halimbawa, webinar output, at doon ilalagay lahat ng mga output nila. Okay? Malinaw ba?
Malinaw na malinaw. Ayan.
Siyempre, Sir Bob, bago ka magbasa ng ng mga shout out, siyempre gusto ko magpasalamat. Of course, Sir Bob, naku, 5 days hindi ako iniwan. And yeah. Siyempre, maraming salamat, Sir Bob, ha? At kay Ma'am Lerma na pinayagan ka. At siyempre, yung sa iyong immediate, si Sir Pampi, maraming salamat, Sir Pampi and Ma'am Lerma. And shout out na rin sa Gians. And of course, Dennis Gumbok, maraming salamat dahil si Dennis ay actually we are doing the dirty works. Yun nga ang word ko eh. Dahil si Sir Bob laging naka-front kami ni Dennis. Nag-uusap kami ng kung anong next. Well, first time.
Ito yung mga ito yung mga assistant ko si Sir Joe at si Sir Dennis.
Yes.
Mabigla ang layout, sir, no?
Yung mga impromptu na kailangan, Dennis, pakiano nga to, sagot yung ganito. Si Dennis, mabilis. And of course, maraming salamat sa iyong school head, Sir Dennis, si Sir Art. Yes, pakisabi at alam ko naman narinig ni Sir Art ito, maririnig ni Sir Art ito. And syempre yung immediate mo, si Ma'am Mercy, tama ba?
Si Ma'am Mercy, po. Yan. Si
Ma'am Mercy, and maraming salamat And alam mo, maraming magpapasalamat rin ako sa mga school heads. Alam mo, nakikita ko lagi si Ma'am Agco. Si Ma'am Agco ay nanonood sa atin.
Yes po.
Talaga isa siya sa mga viewer natin dito sa
Ano yan, Sir Jun, bigyan mo
Yes.
bigyan ng badge yan si Ma'am Marco. Bigyan ng badge. Top fan. Top fan natin yan
Yes. And yung aking ICT core team na talagang napaka-supportive. Maraming salamat. And of course, ang aking mga mahal na ICT coordinators na talagang sa kanila napapasa ang mga trabahong ito at nagko-comply at napaka-active, magagaling, lahat na. Yung mga yun ay sobrang tiyaga sa mga pinapa-comply natin. No? Maraming salamat. At sa lahat ng mga hindi bumitaw, isa-isahin mo nga Sir Bob yan mamaya ha. Maraming salamat mga teachers.
Parang nagtatawag ka ng sentensya. Parang sentensya wala pang kabalit.
Haba niyan.
Teachers, master teachers, at lahat ng mga attendees natin dito sa Division Office of Imus City, sa ibang division, maraming salamat at see you soon. Marami pa tayong series. Okay? Baka pwedeng basahin yung mga shoutout.
Ano tayo? Random lang random ha. Hirap kasi pagbasahin lahat Random. Sabi ni saan ba yun? Fides et Ratio. Ano ba itong Fides et Ratio? Pa-shoutout po sa ating mga ICT teachers ng DepEd Imus City para sa mga batang Imusenyo. Kilala ko yung mata nito si Fides et Ratio.
Hindi may tatago, sir.
From
what school kaya si sir?
Itanong ko nga mamaya. from Ana Marie Balidoy Seno. Thank you from Alapan 1 Elementary School. Yan. From Michelle Regencia Rico Hermoso. Thank you very much po SDO Imus City and Imus ICT team from Maharlika Annex participants. Marami sila sa Maharlika nanonood ngayon. Ayan, kay Ma'am Agco kanina. Bigyan lang top fan badge. Si Ma'am Agco. Next, kay Ma'am Maylene Roa. Salamat po. God bless. Kumari ko yan. Si Ma'am Marilu Siena Pagunasan. Thank you po. Sir Mervin Araha. Thank you. Si Ma'am Crisel Ann Garbulo Papa. Keep safe and God bless po. Si Ma'am Rizalina Lopez. Salamat po lahat ng learnings SDO Imus. DepEd tayo, Imus City. Ma'am Maricar Samuel. Salamat po. God bless. Ma'am Vani. Yan. Thank you. Ma'am Elena Galang. Yan. Ma'am Maylin. Thank you so much SDO Imus. Ma'am Loren. Shout out, ma'am. Shout out daw kay Ma'am Adel. Sir Dennis daw. Sir John Anthony Indico. Sir June, magpa-enroll na lang siya. Okay. Ma'am Mabel Verses. Kudos to Microsoft. Kay Ma'am Joanne Gripo. Pa-shout out po kay Ma'am Agco at sa Tansaluma Elementary School. Kay Ma'am Tess. Thank you very much all of our speakers for imparting your knowledge and expertise. God bless us all. Mabuhay ang SDO Imus City, Philippines. Kay Ma'am Rowena Katane. Gracias. Thank you very much. Kay Ma'am Relenita Vidamo. Maraming salamat po. Kay Sir Val Sarid Guro. Thank you po from General Sir Topacio.
Hi, Ma'am Tess.
Shout out daw. Sir Dennis. Ma'am Marian Reyes. Thank you po from Evilia family.
From
ano pala yun? Estanislao Villanueva. Sorry. Estanislao Villanueva.
Ayan, special mention ito sa aking mga ka-DG dyan. Mayroon kaming group kasi doon sa Montefaro, DG. Saka yung No to Liquor Ban. Ay, mali pala yun. Mali.
No to
Jan,
liquor ban.
andyan si Jan, si Momoy, si Atong. Ayan. Shoutout sa kanila. Andito pala siya yung nagsabi, Sir Jun, magpapa-enroll na po.
Siya ba yun? Kala. No,
Yun.
no to liquor ban.
Hey, Dennis, it's your turn.
Para naman sa, sino ba?
Paano? Kay Ma'am Arlene? Ay, nasa iyo.
oh.
From Pilot, Ma'am Charlene H. Binaday. Thank you po.
Yan.
Yeah, kina Ma'am Arlene Elni daw po from CBES. Kasadang Bago po ba ito? Kasadang Bago, pa-shoutout po sa aming principal, Sir Albert Roderos. Thank you and God bless. Yan, Sir Bob.
Mukhang pang-radyo na ang boses mo, Sir Dennis,
Kasi isang linggo di kayo mag-training next week.
Yung mga mag-enroll sa akin sa radio broadcasting. Okay, thank you po, SDO Imus City from E. Villanueva, Ma'am Melissa Mel Bagay po.
Yan, kay Ma'am
Ma'am Eleanor Maniguez, thank you so much po.
Okay.
And Ma'am Nicolas Anjo Simangan. Salamat po from Alapan 2 Elementary School.
I'm from Ma'am Claire Candido.
Claire Candido. Thank you po from CBES, Calzada Bago. From Diane Joy Ramos, pa-shoutout po sa mga teachers ng Anabuan. Shoutout! Yan, Anabuan Elementary School. Sir Adrian Bugay, thank you po from General General
Juan Castañeda.
Juan Castañeda Senior High School.
Senior High School.
Ma'am Cristina Sarmiento.
Hi, Ma'am Maylene. Kasama namin sa Technolympics si Ma'am.
Ma'am Chup, Ma'am Maylene.
Ayan po.
Thank you, DepEd Imus from Anabutu Elementary School, GPTA.
Wow.
Chris Medel. Ma'am Lynn, Mallorca Espiritu. Salute po sa inyo, Sir June, Sir Bob, and Sir Dennis.
Hello po, Ma'am.
Mabuhay po kayo. Thank you po, Ma'am Lynn. Ma'am Eileen Dienes, thank you, SDOIC. Yan, sige. Papa-shoutout din sana kay Ma'am Ay Esguera, thank you po from Bailuma 2 Elementary School.
Sige, sir, kayo po.
Ako naman, pa-shoutout naman sa pamilya natin sa General Emilio Ginaldo National High School, sa MAPE Department. Ang aming pong head teacher ay si Sir Pampilo B. Servito Jr. Ang aming pong principal ay si Ma'am Lerma V. Peña. Shoutout po sa mga kaguruan po ng MAPE Department, especially sa buong JS. Yan.
Ayan, shoutout din sa amin, no? Sa TLE.
Yun sa Imus.
From Imus National, baka magtampo sila. From Imus National High School, Technology and Livelihood Education Department. Hello po. Salamat po sa mga nakinood. At sa aming pong Department Head, Ma'am Mercy Herrera, and our School Head, Mr. Arturo P. Rosso Jr. Thank you, sir. Pasensya na po, delay sa trabaho.
Nag-delay.
Okay, sir. Meron ba po? Ito po, shoutout po sa aming butihing school head, Ma'am Gina Reyes. Ayan, from Ma'am Ana Seno. Okay po, from Sir Anthony de los Santos, mukhang nawala ang internet nila. Nawala nga sila. Ayan po, thank you SDO Imus City from Sir Anthony. Ayan, thank you po from Ma'am Edita Gavino Manzanilla. Ayan, mga tropang INHS po yan. Ayan. From Ma'am Diana Mabesa, thank you from Anabuan Elementary School. Kudos po sa lahat. Shout out po sa science teachers ng Jayans. Ayan. Thank you po, Sir June, and good job.
Hi, Ma'am Eileen.
Yan. Tapos kay Ma'am Teresa Alcantara, thank you, SDOIC. Last three, thank you po from General Licerio Topacio, National High School. Kudos from Ma'am Christine Pahila. Hello, Sir June. Shout out po sa Anabuan. Parang suking-suki ang Anabuan Elementary School, sir. May pa-TV pa po ata ito sina sir at sina ma'am. Ayan.
May pa-TV pa
from
sila.
Ma'am Lara Andrea Maga, thank you po. And last, from Sir Ariel de la Cruz, thank you po SDO Imus sa aming naging speaker at sa mga naging speaker for 5 days webinar from Pasong Santol, tama po ba to? Pasong Santol Elementary School, Golden City Annex, and Ma'am Yolanda Between, Austria. Thank you po, Ma'am Sarah. And shoutout po sa GovDM Integrated School. Ayan. Sir June, may announcement pa po ba tayo?
Nabanggit ba natin lahat?
Banggi, ayan, kay Ma'am Shena po from Imus National High School. Shoutout po sa ESP teacher. And
para hindi magtampo.
Grabe. Shout Okay na po. Thank you, Ma'am Joyce. God bless po.
Okay, siguro that ends our session for today.
Yes po. Thank you very much, Sir June, to the whole UIC, to our SDS, Dr. Rosemary D. Torres, and
Siyempre.
ASDS, Sir Ivan, Brian Indactivo po.
Putol ako eh.
Kudos. Shout out sa aming napakagaling na SDS Rose. At
yes po.
Ang aming bagong ASDS, Sir Ivan. Siyempre.
Sabi EPS nga pala, Sir Talon. Hello, sir.
EPS, yes. Lahat mga EPS natin. Kanina naputol lang ako eh. At yung ating
EPS ko, si Sir Valles, Sir Marciano Valles.
Yes, yung ating former ASDS, Sir Gali, kamusta po kayo? Ingat po kayo lagi dyan.
And to Sir Greg, kamusta po?
Sir Greg, yes, lahat na. Baka mamaya magtapo. At yung ating mga sa finance group, sa ICT unit, syempre, ang aking dalawang Justin and Jay, shout out. At siguro, that ends our session.
Yes. Ma'am Jen, Ma'am Teya, and Sir Mes for hello po. At sa buong new normal team, episode 2 na po ba?
Episode 2. Ma'am Teya, Ma'am Jen, Ma'am Riza, maraming salamat.
Salamat po. Thank you po. And this will end our 5th day. God bless you all. Goodbye.
Muchas gracias, señor, señora.